What's going on?
Hey, Jay
Yo,
here.
what's good, J-Tech?
What's up, man?
Chilling, man, chilling.
Yo, Manuel, you play Sea of Thieves?
Okay.
I haven't, man. It doesn't look to be like a game for me.
Ah, I need someone
Yeah.
to join my crew.
Oh shit. Nah, it looks. I've watched some plays of it. Some playthroughs. It looks interesting to watch. But nah, it doesn't look too fun to play, man. It looks crazy on the Series X though.
Yeah. Hey, Rare makes a pretty game.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Everwild looks good also.
What's going on, everybody? Thank
Hell
you,
yeah.
thank you, Emmanuel, for showing up.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I
Thanks for the invite.
no problem. I see we got Sir Painhammer here, Double L, aka Please Dude, and we have a Russian spy here, and then we probably have the usual suspects roll in a little bit later. Um, Big shout out to Asa Gaming, Emperor Wrath, uh, Maximum Carnage. Um, this I don't want the podcast to be everything about Cyberpunk, but it is a big deal. There was a marketing deal with Microsoft or Xbox when it came to Cyberpunk that spanned before the game was even available to play, which I always felt very weird about. That you guys had that deal, which means the game should have been out when it was what was it, a limited edition Xbox Series X? No, Xbox One X, and then a hard drive, and then a controller and a controller charging port. So you guys had a big marketing deal for hardware, and then you later on had a bigger hard marketing deal for advertisement. So we know the game was supposed to be ready at a certain time, and it continuously got delays. I think it was 3 or 4. Um, so this isn't a Xbox problem. This isn't like a PlayStation problem or a console war problem. This is a CD Project Red problem, and it doesn't look good for them. Uh, was already talking about the class action lawsuits way before uh, PlayStation came out and said, "Hey, they're gonna do those refunds for digital and take it off of the store." It looks like we've gotten to that point, which is very dangerous for this, let's say, very young company in studio. So we don't know what's going to go on from here. We don't know what's going to go on with Witcher. Uh, as far as the credibility when it comes to making console games, it is not good. They would have never been able to pull this off if it was specifically only for PC. The majority of the backing they've gotten was from Microsoft, Sony, and as well as the PlayStation and Xbox gaming community. So, since you're our guest here, Emmanuel, I just wanted to get your input on what you think should happen. Do you think the gamers should forgive them after February's patch, or what do you think should happen? Because they burnt a lot of people, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, man. Before this game came out, the writing. I think the writing was on the wall. It was not going to be too good. People were saying the combat was bad. The quote unquote yellow chairs were even saying it was bad. Um, I think gamers should have taken a little bit more heed. I've seen some gamers say, they're not going to be pre-ordering games anymore. Um, I think it's going to have a lasting effect. I think gamers should get their refund if they're dissatisfied with the game, especially with the PS4 and Xbox One. I saw both of those were dropping as low as like 15 FPS, and that's just unacceptable. I think either Microsoft and Sony should sue CD Projekt Red, or like you said, like you mentioned, class action lawsuit, because this was a scam, man. And a lot of people were saying, even they were saying, other games have come out that's broken. That's still bullshit. Those games shouldn't have been allowed to happen, or we wouldn't be in this situation. So, yeah, I think there has to be some repercussions this time, man.
Yeah.
And also the point you made earlier, according to Digital Foundry, Microsoft only had those marketing rights for those for the Xbox One console special edition. and those accessories and everything, according to Digital Foundry.
Yeah, yeah, they were the only people that had it. And of course the marketing deal, which means like if I was to watch my video right now, if it, I've done it a couple of times because we've covered Cyberpunk, and I go into the live stream, I watch it, and then I see an advertisement for Cyberpunk. Well, the
Mm,
Cyberpunk version they're advertising might be visuals from PC, but at the end of the commercial, they have the Xbox logo. Um,
mm,
and that again, that in itself is misleading, because
mm.
you're marketing a console version using the visuals from the PC, so we don't know what's going on. Um, I also spoke on yesterday people comparing this with Avengers, which again I can't see the comparison because you know how bad Avengers was going to be because they released multiple betas that you could participate
Mm-hmm.
in, and so you got to know how good it or bad it was if it was a game for you, and you got to know that in a good amount of time to cancel your pre-order if you were unhappy with what happened with the beta. Now, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you've been gaming for a very long time. So have I. You remember the days of the demos, which we still get, but this is a player game. This would have benefited from a demo. The game's been in development for 8 years, all of
Yeah.
last generation, and then it started development before last generation even started. It was going to be a PC exclusive. We know how these big budget PC games actually operate. They operate outside our realm. So they get backing from
Mm,
the community, Kickstarters, all of that type of shit. And the developer does not get upfront money from like purchases of the game. They can't survive off that. They can't make a game. They need the community to help them. So it takes a long,
mm.
long time. By the time that the game comes out, prime example, it ends up like Mighty Number Nine. You remember that game? Said to be done by
Oh
the Mega
Jesus.
Man creator. Yeah, exactly. A lot of backing, a lot of funding,
Yeah.
and it wasn't perfect. That's what happens. When you have AAA console exclusives or AAA console games, those developers they have financial backing. They can put out some good shit. Um, Assassin's Creed may never be perfect when it comes out, but it's not Cyberpunk. We know Ubisoft got
Yeah.
money. We know they have good existing relationships with Sony and Microsoft. They put out some good work. It might be a little sketchy in the beginning, but they put out some good shit. So
Yeah.
Cyberpunk was made by an indie developer. A lot of people don't know that. We look at them as triple A after what happened with Witcher, which was Witcher 3 was a big success, but they're not triple A. They're indie.
But okay,
They're independent.
and I hear some people bring that up, but I don't think that excludes them from making a quote unquote AAA product. The
Exactly.
marketing,
Hmm.
the money behind it, and the scope of the game is all AAA. It's just a shit AAA. Like you
Hmm.
say, I shit on Ubisoft games all the time, but the level of world building in those games, I have to give it up to them. I don't care to play Assassin's Creed, but it's something to behold, seeing all the stuff that they built in Assassin's Creed, even GTA. It's remarkable, man.
Exactly.
I'm not impressed with Cyberpunk. It's just a shit AAA. Studios like I say Ori is a AAA, for its genre. I don't think independent excludes them from being AAA, and I believe they're a public company, so
Yeah.
they have investors, so they're not completely independent. They're I don't know if you're into music too much, but a lot of people joke on Chance the Rapper being independent, but not really.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're saying, and I'm
Yeah.
only saying that because of their skills.
Mm,
A real triple A developer would have never allowed this to happen because this type of damage I don't see them coming back from. Uh,
at all.
and this is the thing. Um, that we have never saw or heard them say PC master race, but to someone that sometimes has a problem with the PC community or the PC gaming community or troll community, whatever. Uh, I know
Mm.
how they feel when it is all about PC master race, right? I understand that. Um,
The PC
I,
terrorists.
exactly. I feel in my fucking bones that this developer was all about the PC Master Race because that's what
Mm.
this game was made for. And that's 100% fine. You should have delayed the console version. They didn't delay the console version because they were losing money on each delay because the trust
Mm.
wasn't there from us. So if they would have delayed it till, let's say, February or March when these next batch of patches are ready, they would have lost a ton of money anyway. But at
Mm.
least the game would have been in some sort of a way better than what it is. I feel that if you know you're getting all your money from the console gamers, you need to make sure the console version is playing good.
Yep.
Stop making excuses. You know, I had a problem with Ubisoft way back in the day on a PS3 360 generation about them saying they couldn't do stuff towards the end of the generation on a PS3 that Naughty Dog has started to do, that other developers have
Mm.
started to do, where their games look better and they played better, like Uncharted, what is it, 2 and 3, and the evolution between Infamous 1 and what we saw with Infamous 2. Same thing with Killzone 2 and 3. So, I hated Ubisoft and still do when I hear any developer saying what they can't do. If someone else can do it, you should be able to do it. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
So, I don't like CD Projekt Red. I don't like them. I don't like hearing their excuses. I don't like them saying what consoles can't do. Other developers have done great things. We're talking about Coalition and what they were able to pull out of the Xbox One X with Gears 5. You know, Playground Games
Yeah.
with you got Forza looking really good. Then you got the slew of PlayStation exclusive studios that have made some pretty beautiful games. Anything
Yeah.
is fucking possible. Okay, anything is fucking possible. We have the third-party AAA developers like Ubisoft and Rockstar. You know, with Assassin's Creed, what is it, Origins, Odyssey, and now Valhalla. And then you have Rockstar that put out Red Dead Redemption 2. Again, I don't like it. I'm editing a video right now on my PS5 that was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. So this is what happened. I was in a bar. At the beginning, I was at the beginning of the heist mission for Cyberpunk. I'm in a bar. There are two females talking. One standing up. One is on the steps sitting down. I go to the other side of the bar. There's three people around this table talking. I go back to where the two females are, and they completely change. The game has a memory problem.
Damn.
They can't remember what they look like. So then they change the entire character model. It was the same thing with the dude that's sitting at the at this table with this chick. The chick never changed before I went into the back room to continue the story. When I came out, the chick was the same, but the guy she was talking to looked completely different.
Mm.
Hey, Jay, remember the bed problem?
Yeah, the bed. I had walked about 2 to 3 feet away from the bed, and it could not remember that it had covers on it. So it had pop-in problems. 2 to 3 feet away from the bed. I captured all of this, obviously. I have not posted it on Twitter yet. But these are the things that I don't expect to see in 2020 when you've had so many years. Again, you had brought out Witcher. And me personally, The Witcher probably had the best story in the world, right? But I didn't experience it because I dropped that shit at a week. I traded that shit back in the following week. And
why was that?
Because of the visuals. It was unacceptable that other developers had put out better visuals, and you put out this hyped up game that I fell for. I got day one 5 years ago. There's an unboxing and gameplay that I posted on YouTube for 5 years ago. Got that shit day one. Was not impressed. With all the hype surrounding it, was not impressed. Does this game look much better than The Witcher? You're damn right. It does. But the amount of bugs and glitches and shit, I got stuck. This was after update 1.05. I got stuck in the menus. I was trying to change the options back to get the visuals that look good, where you have to turn off the film grain and like 2 other things, right? I had got stuck in the menus. I could not exit out to start the game. So I had to turn the game off. So again, if you don't know how to develop for consoles, stop making games for consoles until you do.
Yeah, I heard it, the red engine or whatever they use is not, is not easily optimized for consoles. So I agree. If they can't do it,
Exactly.
pull one of those deals like was it Starfield? It's not only for PC, but the minimum, one of the minimum specs is that you have to have an SSD. Like you mentioned, this game has a memory problem, but there's no restriction for SSD, so it is made to be played on a 5200 RPM, hard drive. So that's not a valid excuse why it's not working on PS4 and Xbox.
Exactly. No problem. No problem at all. I mean, again, you can talk about Grand Theft Auto, which is a game that came out 2 generations ago now.
I believe the year that Cyberpunk was announced,
Yeah,
2013.
Exactly. So when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, you could look at an NPC and they would go down the street, come back, the NPC would still be there, right?
Mm.
It would not change what the NPC looked like. It's still the guy or the girl, or the fat dude or the skinny dude or whoever it is. It's still that person is still that person. Doesn't change. You go to one end of the bar to the next end of the bar and they can't fucking remember. I actually had captured when I had looked back before, I was going around. So I looked back and I had saw that both character models were blacked out. I could barely see them, but they were blacked out. Not shadows. They were just blacked out because they could not remember. And I was looking at this in progress in the game.
Jesus. And this is the 1.04 patch? Or
Yeah,
1.05?
this was actually 1.05.
Okay.
So
Jesus.
This was after the 1.05. So the individuals that are saying, hey, they have no problems. Look, the game has not crashed my system. I have not played it in a long burst. I am enjoying where the story is going. I'm a big story person. RPGs, action adventure games, you name it. I love story. That's the driving force for me being a gamer. But outside of the story, you still have to have these things. I'm a detail freak. I've been that way since Game Boy, wondering, hey, why does the water look this way? And then transferring over to N64 and seeing what the water looks like and Wave Race and just the gradual leap of just water. If we're just staying focused on water, let alone trees and grass and how all of that stuff has gained amazing details over the last, let's say, 20 or 20-something years of me playing games. So, if all these other developers can make advancements in visuals, I expect the same thing from anyone else. CD Projekt Red is going to have to take a step back from consoles because whatever they put out next, we're not going to trust them.
Yeah.
I was not one of the people that went out and just, trusted that Witcher 3 was going to be good. I got it. And I believe if I tracked all the history back, I had asked the viewers 5 years ago, what game should I get? That or Batman. I had already ended up getting Batman. So then I went on and got that game. Again, very disappointed. Spend $60 and the game did not live up to all the hype. Not in my opinion, So I think going forward, I had already knew I wasn't gonna fall for the hype for Cyberpunk, so I didn't. I didn't fall for the hype.
How'd you end up getting it though?
A friend of mine, we game share. So there are a few games, there are a few games that are on the multi-platform side that I just, I ain't gonna play. He has those few games, and then I have some games that he's not gonna fucking play or buy, and I have those few games, so it benefits us. So definitely, I wanted to see what all the hype was about. Again, more people that spend more time, they experience more bugs, and then of course, again, man, you're looking at 115 million PS4s out there. You're looking at 50 something. Possibly 50-something Xbox Ones out there. The majority is last generation. It's not next gen. So I don't like when anybody that has a next gen system say, "Hey, well, I don't care. I'm not having no problem." Fuck out of here, bro. Because the experience they're getting over there, they might not trust the next gen systems either. And I have a next gen system, and I experience these fucking problems. Again, this is one thing people need to understand about this game. It was not made for the Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro. The PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, as well as the PS5 and Xbox Series X, are boosting what the game is doing. That's all it's doing. It's just boosting it. It's making it play a little bit better with less problems. But the game was not tailor-made for these systems.
Yeah.
So all of the fixes are not even for the mid-gen systems or the next-gen systems. They're actually just for the base model systems to make sure that they can run on the base model. That's what's so sad
the
about
core
this
of the
whole
game is shit.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I think Xbox fans and PlayStation fans should be mad about this other fact, right? With all of these apologies and excuses they put out this week on their official Twitter page, when have they gave us a times table for the next generation patch? They haven't.
Yeah. I don't think they have to us. I watched I want to say it was Hogue Law. He does like a law analysis on like video game topics or whatnot. But he was saying he had like a letter to Sony, and they were saying, you know, in order to get back on the PlayStation Store, condition was that they had to release a patch in December, which is the 105, and then another one in January and February. So they are on paper saying that those patches are coming.
Yeah, but those are not the next generation enhancement patch. Those are still
Correct. Yeah.
And again,
That was crazier. They said it may come out in 2021. That wasn't even a guarantee.
Exactly. From what I heard before the game had even came out, they couldn't promise that it was going to come out next year, and it could slip into 2022.
Jesus.
I mean, that's what's going on. It's really sad because the competition heats up, and we're segueing into the 2021 hype. So the competition heats up next year. We got tons of fucking games for PlayStation and games that were announced for Xbox. So I don't really see how it's gonna make their shit better. First of all, what they really need to do, they need to come down off of that $60 price, because this game is not worth $60.
Yeah. If they drop it at 30, people might, be a little more forgiving. But then they've ripped off the people who pre-ordered and everything. They got to give them some type of,
so
refund or something.
It's a fucking headache for them, and I know it's just not gonna get any better. Like, as time, look what happened over the last 5 days. Like, PlayStation took it off the store, issued their own refunds. Now, CD Projekt Red, quote unquote, claiming that they're gonna put out some refunds out of their own pocket, which are gonna hurt the fuck out of them, by the way, because it's something they tried to fuck both people over. They tried to fuck over Microsoft and Sony by putting out the original statement saying that they would issue refunds, but they did not check with Microsoft and Sony, so they weren't on board. So it made Sony and Microsoft look bad. Actually, it made Sony look worse than Microsoft, because we already know the refund, the refunds over on Xbox are a little bit more relaxed. Over on PlayStation, it's hard as shit to get a refund. Like, it really is difficult. I've tried to get 2 refunds. One I was successful for No Man's Sky, and there was another refund for another game that I could not get. And I think, if I'm correct, that was Anthem. I will have to go back and look at if I still have that game. But I think Anthem was the other game I could not get a refund. But No Man's Sky went through, luckily. So it's hard to get one over here. So for them to say, hey, yeah, these 2 partners are going to do refunds. Don't worry, we're going to do refunds through them. And they were like, nah, we ain't doing that shit. We never agreed to that. Because they lose money on that shit too. So, I mean, the most respectful thing is to take it off of the store. Xbox, from what we saw, have not taken it off the store, but they have to have some warnings to the people that want to go out and buy it. Until all the patches are ready, you can't really condone purchasing this game. I think a store across seas has taken it off of the shelves completely.
Jesus.
Yeah, they have a message saying, hey, if you want to purchase this game, you're gonna have to talk to the front desk, and maybe we'll give you a copy at your own fucking risk. It's not a good thing. Again, this puts a lot of developers in a hotter seat, because we know games come out. They need day one patches, and sometimes after day one patches, they're not perfect, but they're not this bad, and they're never this hyped up. But a lot of people gonna have to make sure their games are good. This could mean additional delays, so that you have less problems. with the COVID shit still in effect, you could get games that are delayed outside of 2021, which is something I don't want to see. Um,
Yeah.
so going into 2021, games that are confirmed for Xbox, and I want to talk about the state of Xbox because in a way this hurt. We know the driving force of
Mm.
Xbox when exclusives are not ready is obviously third party. You guys rely on that a lot. So this was kind of a hit, you know. Um, and I mean that in two
Yeah.
ways. This game was supposed to be a fucking massive hit. This was supposed to be the game of 2020. 2020. 2020. It was supposed to be the game. The game that everybody was talking
Yeah.
about was supposed to be game of the year. The weirdest thing that happened was the shit went gold and it fucking got delayed and then it missed the fucking times table for becoming game of the year at Jeff Keighley's show. So it was getting crazy the whole fucking year with this fucking game. So obviously it didn't pan out for Xbox. So going forward in 2021, what do you think the state of Xbox is? I think that they should obviously, they should focus more on exclusives and don't put their faith in a third party. PlayStation doesn't do that a lot. They partner with them, but they don't put their
Hmm.
their faith in there. Do you think any games that are slated that got delayed and are slated for the early part of 2021 for Xbox, you think that they could get more people to go out and buy it once the stock is replenished?
Definitely, man. And like you said, you touched on it earlier. This is really bad on the base consoles. Of course, the One X and the Series X boosted up. So I don't think Cyberpunk is too much of a hit for the Series X. So in that respect, I don't think it's too bad. And also in this week, if that was shitty, we got Gears 5 Hive Busters as a free DLC with the Game Pass Ultimate. So it wasn't too much of a hit to Xbox community. But going forward into 2021, I think we got a lot of good games coming up, man. I like that game, The Gunk. I think you mentioned earlier 2021, but I believe later 2021 we have Scorn. That game looks freaking amazing to me.
The
Um,
medium.
the Medium that's coming in January 28th. So that one looks interesting. I think it's kind of Silent Hill esque, which
You
is
you got the
more of a Resident
full
Evil kind of guy.
you got the full edition of Bright Memory. Very interesting
Bright
looking.
Memory, Bright Memory Infinite. Yep,
hmm so you have some games scattered,
yep.
and
I think
they
Tunic.
yeah they need to carry, and they're smaller games. These games are smaller. They're not made by like the biggest of developers or known developers. Um,
Yeah,
it's going to be it's going to take a village to make sure that Xbox is um doing what it needs to do this first year so it can seem like it's competitive. Um, Nobody wants
I
a,
think.
a repeat of what happened in 2013 to 2016, where PlayStation was able to be dominant for 3 straight years, and it did impact deals going down with massive third-party developers. And this was on the other
Yeah,
side of Game Pass not existing. So, um,
yeah,
it is good that Phil Spencer has tried everything in his power to go after the Japanese third party developers, which are some of the biggest ones that are making a big comeback last gen. You got Capcom obviously on board. Um, we still don't know the state of the new Street Fighter, but it's assumed to be multi platform this time. You have Namco Bandai has put a lot of games over there. Um,
yep. Just
then you
got
ha-
Code Vein on Game Pass.
exactly, and then there's that other one that they're making that I want to buy day one. What's that other one? Damn.
Scarlet Nexus.
There you go. Don't know why I
Yep.
wanted to say Element Nexus. Okay, Scarlet Nexus, and then Square Enix with Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. As you know, Kingdom Hearts has been locked down on PlayStation since the PS2. So it's good
Yeah.
that you guys have the whole lengthy ass story available. Same thing could be said for Sega, bringing over Yakuza, multiple games, the new game, and all the other ones in between. Phil Spencer has done good by that. Did it take a little long?
Yeah.
Yes, it did. Those are deals that there were set in stone for a very long time with PlayStation, so obviously it was gonna take a long time. But now the gates are open, so you can expect to get those games. whenever there's a new
Yeah.
one by those developers. So that's a good thing for 2021 for Xbox. Do you think any of the massive games are going to come out? We know that Halo has been pushed back to fall. The new concept art and the
Hmm.
in-game renders, they look very good. Um, I
Yeah.
have a question about that, but besides Halo, do you think any of the other bigger Xbox studio exclusive games are going to be out?
Um, I'm not sure. One I would at least exclude is probably Everwild because they said that one's early in development. As far as Xbox exclusives, I don't think so, but I would like to see more third party deals. And I wanted to ask you a question about third party. But I like what Xbox did. You mentioned on the older games coming to Game Pass and everything, but I like what they did with Devil May Cry 5, where that came to Game Pass, I want to say 2 or 3 months after release. That type of stuff is huge to me, and I would like to see more of that rather than third party exclusives deal locked to the consoles. I just kind of want earlier releases on Game Pass. I think those are where Game Pass is going to succeed. The same thing happened with Kingdom Hearts. I think that might have been like 6 months after release. So Game Pass is kind of conditioned us to say, well, wait till it comes to Game Pass. That's a meme, a bit, but that shit works, man. Doom Eternal, I knew it was coming to Game Pass because the first Doom was on Game Pass. I just waited a few months and I got it on Game Pass. So I think that's Xbox's biggest model, and depending on what type of game you are, that's a huge draw. And to me, I think that beats it. As far as first party exclusives, we just got Gears, we got Wastelands 3. We're getting DLC, like the what do you call it? The Outer Worlds, Attack on Peril on Gorgon, Gears 5 DLC. If they can keep, I like those shorter entry DLCs as far as keeping things going. And PlayStation is kind of following the same suit, albeit at a little bit higher price. But I think that type of stuff is good, and I think we can see something like that in 2021. Potentially DLC side, but the bangers for Xbox, that's definitely 2022.
Yeah. That and that's what I'm saying. I wish that um and I'm just gonna speak from a person that had experience with uh I don't really give a fuck about the PS4 Xbox One console where it wasn't entertaining to me. It wasn't we didn't get the back and forth until after 2016. That's what I realized. It was very peaceful
uh,
in the beginning because one person was just outright winning. Um I like the grind. I like the underdog story of the PS3 and how they fought to make sure the games were good. They fought to make sure the services were good. They got everything up and running and made sure it was on a progressive side between 2009 and 2010. And they continued to do good, and they drove that into the PS4 and whatever ever the PS4 was going to achieve. So I liked the console war of the 360 versus the PS3. It was very entertaining. It was
mm,
very beneficial to the gaming industry. It drove both of them to do better. Uh, I do wish that every console would have started at the same time, so at least the console fans or the console war fans would not have that type of excuse. Hey, well, if the PS3 was launched at the same time as the 360, it would have done better. Possibly, it possibly can because everybody liked PlayStation, and
mm.
there were a lot of people that still brought up the $600 systems. So this time around, as well as last gen, you had Xbox One, PS4 launch exactly same time, same week, same month, same thing that happened this gen. Um, so I think it's really good for that on that competition, but I don't think that they needed to. If you get what I'm saying, launch
As
when
far as
launch,
this
yeah,
gen,
yeah, launch when you're ready. I think
yeah.
that the PS3 and Xbox 360, if they would have launched in, let's say, 2007, it would have been more beneficial because game
Mm-hmm.
developers would have had more time with the dev kits. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Now, it
Yeah.
was a lot different for the PS3, PS4, and Xbox One. I think the developers had a good grasp on those dev kits. This time around, I know there's such a leap that we won't see the leap for every game. and I hope
Yeah.
gamers are not massively disappointed. But you won't see a leap for every game. You might expect to see one for
You
the
saying
first.
ninth gen?
Yeah, this ninth gen that we're in. I don't
Okay.
think we're always gonna see a leap for every game. Not every
Mm.
indie developer, not every third party developer is going to have a grasp on what gamers expect from this
Yeah.
generation. So I think that both of these consoles should have launched in the holiday season of 2021. But again, we know
Hmm.
how Xbox is. If you remember watching the history of Xbox on G4 TV, you understand that their whole goal with the 360 was to launch before the PS3. They
Yeah.
got their ass beat with the PS2. Obviously, everyone did. Dreamcast, fucking GameCube did. And they wanted to get a head start. And it made sense. I can't be mad at them. It's a good
Yeah.
strategic point. But you shouldn't start if you're not ready. Nobody cared because we were going into such a new generation that nobody cared. Hey, this is the first system out. Let's get it.
Yeah.
This time around, I don't think Xbox should have put their foot out there. What, December of 2019? Yeah, and then we hear complaints about, let's say, tools are not ready or development kits are not ready. I don't want to hear that. No gamer should accept that as an excuse after you spend $500. When you hear
I mean,
the
to be fair, I think the software side of PlayStation might be a little bit more mature, but the hardware on Xbox is, I think, because they waited, the hardware is a little bit more mature. The software, devs weren't able to grasp a hold of it, and they changed their software development suite. Um, but there's features missing on both of them. The Dolby Vision is missing on Xbox. But PS5 is missing the hardware drive, the hardware expansion drive, man. I guess a lot of people can, move past that, but that
you're
is a
talking about the
huge
SSD.
glaring, yeah, the SSD expansion bay. That being disabled, that's a huge red flag that, hey, PlayStation was not ready to do this because it's a system level piece of hardware that's built into the console. So that not being functioning, that's a huge flag. Yeah, they weren't all the way ready. The VRR is not done. The VRR was not done on the X900H TV. The VRR is not done on the PlayStation console. They're releasing hardware that does not have the software complete. So yeah, both of them are a little premature. Um,
Yeah,
but
and that's
they
why
they wanted to hit that holiday season.
exactly. I know everybody wants to hit the holiday season. Nobody wants to lose any potential money because
Yeah,
next year could be worse for our economy than it is this year, and it definitely will be.
exactly.
But
Yeah,
so you want to
they
get
had to
as
get
much
it while they
money as
could.
possible. But I feel that again, Xbox came out in December of 2019. PlayStation didn't really, let's say, do what Xbox did until June. And what I mean by that is
Yeah,
show the controller and the console, and preview games. So it's like if Xbox, oh shit, wow, what the fuck is going on over there? Some fucking popular news. I'm gonna go check that out later. So yeah, with Xbox, you would expect them to have everything ready when you're you're
mm,
talking about your system in December of the Game Awards. That's the one thing I don't like about Xbox. I know they wanted to be ahead, and I'm not talking about, hey, let's get the news out. If they could launch a year ahead, they would. They would. I
yeah,
believe they would. But it, I believe that to be fair between both consoles, and I know people don't want to hear that shit because I trash on Xbox a lot. But let's be fair. I'm a Libra, so I have that balance thing going on.
okay,
Both systems come out exactly the same time. Holiday of 2021. Halo would have
mm,
actually been ready. God of War would have actually been ready.
yeah,
Horizon would have been ready. Gran Turismo would have been ready. You get what I'm saying? More games would have been ready. You would have had more
yeah.
time for the Gears 5 DLC that just came out, and it could have looked even better. Forza
That
could have been ready, you know?
I think that could damage PlayStation in a bit because they would have too much software available. That's why they ended up putting stuff like Bug Snacks and Destruction All Stars in was it PS no PS Play?
Both
PS
of those
Plus.
are PlayStation Plus. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
PlayStation Plus, yeah.
And that could be for anybody though. That's not just for first party versus first party. That's third party versus fucking first party. Like third party
exactly. But
could bump them out. And I understand what you're saying, but let me just say for Xbox, even though this is something you don't want to hear, they could have benefited from coming out in 2021 because there would have been more games for them. There were a lot of games that ended up getting delayed, and if your system was out in that year, it would have looked better for your system to have a launch with even more games. So, PlayStation, you know how many studios they don't have compared to Xbox, but these motherfuckers have rotational teams that I've been talking about for a generation now, where you have Ratchet and Clank, but you also have Spider-Man. You could rotate to Resistance. You know what I'm saying? Or you could rotate to Sunset Overdrive. You go to Naughty Dog, you could do fucking Uncharted, but then rotate to The Last of Us. So you got Ghost of Tsushima.
That's a good setup there.
You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't really matter that you have less than the other people, as long as your rotational teams are working. Then that means you're always gonna be able to pump out some games.
But think about this one though. At least on the, and that is a good setup. And from my understanding, Xbox is trying to kind of do something like that. Have two different teams developing stuff. But they always say the first people to, and it's true, the first people adopt new hardware, new electronics are the hardcore consumers. They already have limited stocks. The quote unquote hardcores have already consumed it all. So I don't think that delaying it would have helped. At the end of the day, the Xbox software just wasn't done. And I think even if it was Halo, people would have still just said, "Oh, there's just one game that's done by Xbox," and they would have still claimed it's lackluster.
Well, the thing is, it's still the biggest game, so it can be one game all at once.
It would have, it would have been something.
It's the biggest game on Xbox, and then you would have had the rest of the third party fill in. And if you would have had it out in 2021, all of these smaller devs that delayed their games for whatever reason they did, you got the medium, right? You got the full edition of Bright Memory. Then you have Scorn, and you just go down the list. You have these smaller games. Destruction All-Stars is not a fucking AAA game. Can be a AAA game, but it's not a AAA game anymore because now it's going to be on PlayStation Plus. Is that a benefit? Fuck yes. Because if you saw what happened with Rocket League, you know what I'm saying? That was on PlayStation Plus, so more people were able to play it. So the game became.
So are you saying games being on PlayStation Plus exclude them from being AAA?
I'm just saying that this game was definitely struggling. It's a game that I really, really, really loved. I put my $70 out there. I don't give a fuck. I buy smaller games all the time. I buy games that people don't like all the time. I do that. That's the
so you still paid for it?
Yeah, I did, but I got my money back. Obviously.
Okay.
I think that more people need to play this game, and this one game particularly, it will benefit from being on PlayStation Plus because around the community, I've heard PlayStation gamers saying, "Hey, I ain't paying $70 for that," but if it was on PlayStation Plus, they would pay for it. There were so many people that said that shit.
They're getting into that Game Pass mentality.
Well, look, it doesn't matter. There were so many people that said that shit that PlayStation actually took notice. And I tell people this all the time. What we say, whether you're on Team Xbox or Team PlayStation, these people are listening. They are always listening, and they do what's in our best interest. So if you continue to go around the internet and say, hey, you want all these games on Game Pass, well, Phil Spencer's going to make that shit happen. Now, PlayStation gamers, we know we don't have a Game Pass, but we have something similar to it, which is PlayStation Now. Most of us that I've came into contact with might not use it. I still pay for it. Sometimes I get on there, sometimes I don't. You have games that you can download to the hard drive, which is an added benefit, came after Game Pass. We don't know where that evolutional update rumor is. There was a rumor that PlayStation Now was going to get such a fucking evolutional update when the PS5 came out, and I don't see it. It was a false rumor, but I see the benefits.
Jim Ryan stated that he's thinking about doing a Game Pass for PlayStation.
Some type of answer to Game Pass.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I saw that report too, but until it actually is here, I got no comment on it. You
Yeah,
know,
that could be perks. Game Pass is not only just the games, but we get perks. We get
exactly.
free.
Well,
I
I
got
mean,
2 months
this
of free
this is the cool
Funimation,
thing. This is the cool
6
thing
months
about
of Spotify.
PlayStation Now. I did like what they did with one particular game. You had Horizon on PlayStation Now, right?
Mm,
It had already sold what 8-10 million or whatever in its lifetime. Did good. Went to PlayStation Now, possibly as an added benefit to the PC community, which did not get to experience it before it was taken off. It was announced for PC, so that now PC fans can play Horizon Zero Dawn without PlayStation Now. But now that
mm.
as far as this month is concerned, they added it back to PlayStation Now with no exit date. So now the game can be downloaded to your hard drive, whether it's on PS4 or PS5, and played from PlayStation Now service. So,
Mm.
you're paying what is it, $9.99 a month? That's what I pay, for PlayStation Now. You have tons of fucking games that are downloadable. The only ones that are downloadable are any games that are PS2, which are very less. You don't got a lot of those. PlayStation 1, not a lot of those. But the library of PS4 games, those are all downloadable. You can always download those to your hard drive and play them off your hard drive whenever you want. PS3, massive library, can't download them. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I've done my proper tests on a PS5, but I do believe you still can't download those to the hard drive. If they could fix that, that would be awesome.
Can you say if the streaming has gotten any better with the PS5 and the PS Now and all that?
I can honestly say I've done so many tests in 2020 for streaming that I can honestly say the streaming has gotten a lot better.
Okay.
Scary better. Yeah, it's got so good that I know that they're gonna continue to support it. Again, they're putting PlayStation exclusive classics on there, and I think that's cool, man. You're going into 2021. You're going to the new generation. You could put God of War back on there permanently. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the game, the sequel's coming out. Put God of War back on PlayStation Now. Put that shit on there permanently. Spider-Man, as of next year, you can put that shit on there. You can put a lot of games back on that service permanently and boost the value of it. Because
Yeah.
there's so many games that don't have an expiration date on the service. They're just there. They're just
But
always there.
I think you commented on it too. As far as the talk around the PlayStation community, I hear a lot of PlayStation guys hate on that, and say putting those type of games in services like that diminishes the value. It's going to ruin the quality.
I agree.
Um,
I agree with that.
you agree?
I agree with that fucking last year. I agree with that in the beginning of this year before the PS5 came out.
Uh,
But you got to look at it this way. You're going to the next generation, and you definitely are.
yeah,
That's an added benefit for me. You made all your money. You made 10 mil. You sold 10 million copies. Put that shit over there. You're already
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
have the enhancements, right? You gotta have the enhancements, updates, and patches and shit. You're good. You made your money. Put it over there. Maybe you can have additional money streaming into you from that service of that game being on there. So
yeah. Honestly,
we'll see.
I think PlayStation. Yeah, I think PlayStation kind of had a good idea with the limited releases of their exclusives onto PS Now. I think they would do them like for a month or 2 months or something like that. But I think they should do it at launch. Launch the games, have them in there for a month or 2 months, and then maybe remove them and put them back. Disney Vault type of shit. But I think that would, excuse me, I think that would boost the amount of time that people spend playing it. And if you pull them out of the service and they've already started playing the games, they're going to buy the games. So I think, if people were able to get Miles Morales, a shit ton of people would have signed up for PlayStation Now. It's completely ridiculous that it only has 2 million subscribers. If they had put Miles Morales, because it's such a short game, people would have beat it. And they would have snooped around and probably would have stayed in it. That's the point of having those type of services. But yeah, I hear a lot of people say, it diminishes the value, but Miles Morales is already a pared down version of Spider-Man. It's not a real, sequel. But I don't think that's a bad thing. Jim Ryan has
See, that's
said
the thing. A
pretty much
lot of
that's going to
people need to
happen with Horizon,
understand
and
that's not a sequel. It obviously isn't.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and I don't think anybody's bragging about it. I'm probably the biggest PlayStation fan you're gonna meet.
Some people
I'm
are,
gonna put
man.
it this.
MBG is calling it, you know, a AAA mini sequel. You know, people are calling it. Somebody told me it was a what the fuck did he say it was? Um, a side sequel.
No,
Just
no.
all kind of
So
bullshit, man.
let's put it this way. MBG probably doesn't know shit about PlayStation because he joined so fucking late. I've saw games like this since the PS3. So okay,
Yeah.
Infamous 1 and 2, right? But then you had
Uh.
Infamous Festival of Blood. Infamous Festival of Blood is not a trilogy. It's a side game. It's not an expansion. It's not DLC. You could actually buy, just like Spider-Man Miles Morales. It extended the story. It let you know other things that were going to happen inside the story. Did that story add in to Infamous Second Son, which, again, not 3. It's called Infamous Second Son. It did add on to it. There were story elements that if you experienced that, you would experience it in Infamous Second Son, as well as the main story. You know, you get some hints of certain characters that they mention. You know how it is with Gears 1 to Gears 5, right? You still hear hints of legends from other characters, you know, shit like that. So Spider-Man Miles Morales is the same thing. It can obviously be sold as a full game because it is a full game, but it's not Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is coming, but this is not Spider-Man 2. It's the same could be said for any movie. You got a movie, right? You got the first one, and you got the second one. Now, let me give you a prime example. My favorite Christmas movie of all time, Home Alone 1 and 2.
Nice.
Okay. What about all the other Home Alones? All those fucking subtitle Home Alone movies that came out that you probably don't even fucking know. They're not the trilogy. You know what I'm saying? They're just fucking spinoffs.
Yeah. So Home Alone 3, I say it was good.
I watched it. It was all right. It could not hold a candle to 2, which is probably my favorite of all time. But I think that Miles Morales is a spinoff. I did not spend a lot of time. I have not beaten the game. Not gonna lie about that. My focus has been
I'm surprised, man.
And making sure I get the platinum for Demon Souls. I could go play every other game I want. So hopefully I can get this platinum out the way. I got only 2 more trophies. I deserved that shit after playing it at, in 2009 and not being able to complete the game because I was afraid of a fucking dragon. But,
Jesus.
I mean, this is what I found out. If I would have passed the staircase where the dragon was spraying fire and fought the king, I would have been able to beat the game because I've beaten all the other archstones. So that was the only fucking shit. Obviously I don't have a PS3 or the game save, so I wouldn't be able to go back and finish that. But it sucks. I've beaten the game now 2 times. I'm heading to the 3rd time. So I've beaten Demon Souls a lot. I'm not on my first playthrough. It takes a while to get this fucking platinum, but I've dabbled in Spider-Man enough to know that it is not Spider-Man 2, but it improves on a lot of shit. More gadgets, more applications on your phone, more uses of the touchpad. It feels better. The ray tracing is an added push. The 60 frames is an added push. It might not say Spider-Man 2, and it is not Spider-Man 2, because as far as the introduction to the story, the real Spider-Man leaves the country and leaves Miles Morales in charge of the city. Very similar to what you might expect from Home Alone. This motherfucker's running around the city. He's on his own. But the original story, was supposed to be, hey, you're going on a vacation with your fucking family, but you got left behind. You see what I'm saying? So Miles Morales is left behind to take care of New York City, and you explore more about this version of Miles Morales, which I'm very interested in, and hopefully I can get some time to play it. I'm a working man, so, I'm going to try to play some more over the Christmas holiday. But, the insult that it is DLC, no. No. You still have access to the full city. And if it was like a Spider-Man DLC, there would be so many more similarities. Now, you got a different season now. It's winter. You got snow. Additional, again, move sets. Things that are not there. Animations are better.
Better swinging. Way better.
Swinging. The faces look way better. To the point that they had to change Peter's face because they knew where they were about to
Oh
go.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna be honest. The more I see his face, he's better. I just wish they would have started out with it. I don't agree with the face change because I'm the type of person in a movie, right, where when I watch a movie and I see an actor, I expect that actor to be in the next movie, right? Prime example, Iron Man. You had Terrence Howard, but then he did some stupid shit, and then they changed him to Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle and Terrence Howard don't look the same. So to me, as a moviegoer, it broke my focus, and I don't like that. Now, the fact that
Did you feel like that up to Infinity Wars and everything, or up to the
no,
to the last
because
movies?
he continued to be in there.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah.
liked. They never changed his character again. But I would have rather them pick him from the start. So I feel that same way with Spider-Man. I know going forward this will be the face model. That's cool. Really excited that they added him in the Spider-Man Miles Morales because I was a little confused about that. Will he just be changed for the remaster, or will he also be added in Miles Morales? So it's a little seamless, huh?
I was gonna say that the hair, the completely different.
Yeah, the hair is much better too. I mean, when you change the face, you're gonna have to change that hair too. So it's more of the Peter Parker that you probably know. He looked a lot like Tom Holland when I first saw him, but you know he is not Tom Holland. The more you see him, but
it's better, but it's still not good. It's still not great. Yeah.
Well, I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm not here to change that. But long story short, I don't feel it as DLC. And
I thought you were Bowman. It's an expansion DLC, but it's so much of the original.
I don't know if I can. DLC would be, hey, you buy Spider-Man remaster and you get Miles Morales with it. The added bonus was, hey, you get the remaster, what, $20? Pushes the game to $70. You don't get.
They did it in the reverse.
You don't get the remaster, which I didn't. I paid $50 for it. That's a good price.
Yeah.
You're getting a update to the story. You get to explore more of Miles Morales. It's not just him. Don't want to spoil the story for him, but there's multiple different characters in here, a slew of different characters. Again, Peter Parker, Mary Jane, not in the city. So you're not experiencing the same character set.
Yeah.
Time has progressed, so it's not the same New York.
But it's a part of the city, right?
Yeah. No, it's the whole city. You still have access to the whole New York.
Okay, because I thought I was in the impression it was just Harlem.
No. That's
not just Harlem.
That's
Manhattan.
where he's at. He's from Harlem, so you get to experience a little bit more of Harlem. But once you start swinging, you can still go to the same spots that the real Spider-Man went to. Again, that's why I tell people it's all right. You don't know, but you will know. If you talk to me, you will know. So again, $50 for what you got, that's good. You want to wait, get it cheaper, definitely. You can do that next year. But I think that if you played Spider-Man already, there should be no reason for the remaster. But again, they give you that shit for $20 extra. It's up to you if you want to play that game again or not. It's up to you. But I wanted to play Miles Morales. I wanted to know more about him because the cool thing about it, the real Spider-Man DLC, any Xbox fan has not talked about. It was called...
You mean the four ones that came out?
Yeah, it's called The City to Never Sleep. That was Spider-Man DLC.
What was I gonna say?
It literally was Spider-Man DLC. There was portions of a game, and it was you had access to the whole city, but very, very small story intervals. Like I think
they said it was another one. Yeah.
Jay,
I was saying they said it was another one that was going to come out, which is obviously Miles Morales, and they just pushed it back.
Yeah. Miles Morales was the other one that came out, but if you played all of the City That Never Sleeps, you would experience, you would find out that Miles Morales, during the main story, he got bit, but during the side quest, Peter was helping him find out, hey, bro, you're Spider-Man. We're gonna go through some lessons. Don't worry, I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna train you how to be. It was like, hey, bro, we know what the next one's gonna be. It might not be Spider-Man 2, but we knew it was going to have to do with Miles Morales because at the end, he gives them the mask. They're on the top of a skyscraper, and they take the dive.
That's what I'm saying. They pushed off that last because they announced it. They said, yeah, we have one more DLC. The same with God of War. They said, yeah, we have a DLC, and they pushed both of those back. Obviously, the God of War DLC is
Me
God of War
personally,
Ragnarok,
man, again, I'm a bigger
and the
PlayStation.
DLC is Miles Morales.
I understand, but I'm a bigger PlayStation fan than you, and I make sure I pride myself on knowing this information. I have not
I will
heard
not contest that.
yeah, I have not heard a single developer say
Hostage.
we have one more DLC. So if you can
You haven't
tell
heard that.
if you can tell me where a developer said we have one more DLC for God of War, knowing that the crowd will go crazy, yeah, please help me find that.
I will send that to you. I got to ask: have you guys on the panel? Have you guys heard that too?
No,
That
I
we have
haven't.
one more DLC
No.
for God of War. So God of War Ragnarok is DLC. Is
No.
that what you're trying to say?
I will get you that information, sir.
Okay, please, thank you. Because
Yeah.
I have not heard Corey or anybody at PlayStation say God of War Ragnarok is DLC. I do expect that game to be available on PS4 because, again, 115 million consoles sold. I don't know if you're going to throw that away.
But will it be able to run well on PS4?
We will see.
Because the thing is with the PS4 that any game that was gonna be released, the PS3, because the PS3 and the PS4 was similar in power in a sense. Any game toward the end of at the beginning of the PS4 generation would run well on the PS3. With the PS5 and the Series X, because this is the first time we're seeing such a huge leap in computational performance. We really don't know, and Cyberpunk sort of proves that in a sense.
Exactly.
That's just shit optimization, man.
Exactly.
But
I don't
PlayStation
know
has
if I can say that every game that is also. I'm hoping you're not alluding to this. Every game that's also available on the PS4 is considered DLC. So Horizon, which has a sequel in it, we already knew God of War. The next title was going to be Ragnarok. It doesn't mean it was going to be DLC. We just knew where they were going in the story and what would probably be the subtitle. But it doesn't mean that because it's available on PS4, you can call it DLC.
I think the colon says a lot, man. You know, anytime there's a side name to it, come on, man. You know the deal.
Well, I mean,
what is it?
Again, you just redid God of War, right? You did continue from what God of War 3 did, but it was far after what happened with Kratos killing Zeus. So they said, hey, we're gonna give you a different side of Kratos. Didn't mean it was DLC to part 3. It's just a different side. So they can either keep calling it God of War 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, or they do something different.
Jay, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but so I think of Spider-Man Miles Morales in the same way I think about when Kingdom Hearts 2.8 came out. It's essentially you playing up until the prologue of Kingdom Hearts 3. Same thing with Miles Morales.
Yeah, don't spoil anything for me because I didn't beat it. But from what I've heard, also there's a shock after the credits. So again, you know how Marvel is. They always continuously flow in to whatever is gonna happen next, and I do like that. So obviously there's tons of story left.
But it's not a DLC. It's a standalone game.
Yeah, it definitely is a standalone. If it was DLC, we would all know the added benefit. Hey, we have Spider-Man Remastered to sell you. You can get this Miles Morales for $20.
Okay, I think you guys. I think DLC. I don't know why, but that's like a point of contention. I guess it's not a sign of disrespect, but or what can we safely say it is an expansion? It's a standalone expansion.
It's expansion to the original story.
And have we not had quote unquote expansion DLCs? And that could be whatever length the developer wants it to be.
Exactly, but if it was DLC, it would only be digital.
It would only be digital.
You're called downloadable content, right? That would go into.
I mean, there was
the thing with Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man PS4 on a PS4 and Spider-Man Remaster, right? You cannot start up Miles Morales from that game. If you're calling it DLC, it's connected and you can start it from there. Now you have
but the Spider-Man DLC that you mentioned, you can buy that on a disc. You can get that all together on one game. I think it's called like Spider-Man Game of the Year Edition, correct?
You talking about
or the
the
Witcher Blood and
PS4?
Wine.
You talking about the PS4 version?
Yeah, you can get all the DLC in
Yeah,
one
yeah.
disc.
Game of the year for Spider-Man PS4. You get the City That Never Sleeps DLC bundle included with the
So
game.
that's physical. DLC can be on a disc, but
They just
DLC just
added it,
means
but
is additional content. It's just after post release, but they can put it on a disc like I said, the Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that comes with all the DLCs and all that. Or no, Blood Hunt, whatever that shit is called.
there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah.
I've downloaded Witcher recently. It's a lot of DLC. So let me ask you a question. Everything that comes out that does not have a number, you believe you can call it DLC?
If it's that connected to the main story, it is what it is. I mean, they can sell it for a single release, but I mean,
It's gonna be called
it's
DLC.
it's post release. I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm gonna get you that info. But they said for Spider-Man, they said, yeah, we have one more DLC, but we're gonna hold it. Obviously, that's what Miles Morales is. They just expanded on it more and more, and it doesn't matter, what level of expansion it is, but it came from that original source. It's post content release, man. It's and that's not a slight. I think DLC is a great thing. Since the release of Gears 5 that launched with the escape mode that had all those three characters. And I saw it from the beginning. I said, "Oh shit, this would be great as DLC." I don't want to wait for a completely new game, that whole game cycle. Spend like 2 years and give me a year and a half and give me a DLC. I like DLC, man. So I don't take it as a slight. I just don't like the idea of paying $50 for something like that because you said it has all the same stuff as the original Spider-Man 1. So it took all that shit and just put new characters and
I
everything in
don't
it.
know if I said that. I said that the city was much bigger than what you thought. So you still
Oh, okay,
have
I thought you said they had the whole
access.
city.
No, 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 no.
It doesn't have the whole city of Spider-Man 1.
It does. You thought
It
it had.
does.
You thought it had one section, and I corrected you. What I said was
Okay.
it has the entire city. I could agree
Okay,
with
but
you it being DLC if what you said was right, but what you said was
if it
wrong.
was limited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it was limited, you can call it that. Spider-Man
Yeah.
PS4 DLC for the City That Never Sleeps was limited in where you could go
Mm-hmm.
because it was pertaining to a specific story. This game is a story about Miles Morales. It might have started as DLC, as a thought. Hey, let's
But
give them some DLC on Miles Morales. Let's show them but then it evolved into something different where they sold
yeah,
it for $50.
yeah,
So
standalone expansion.
the initial idea could have been DLC, but over time they
Mm-hmm.
changed. I don't
Hey,
expect Ragnarok to be DLC. I don't expect Horizon Forbidden West to be DLC. Why? Because with God of War, they had a chance to put out an expansion. They didn't. With Horizon, they did put out
That's
DLC.
Ragnarok, bro.
No, hear me out. With Horizon Zero Dawn, they did put out an expansion, and it was called The Frozen Wilds. That was DLC.
Okay.
Okay, so do you believe that Horizon 2, The Forbidden West, do you think that's DLC?
literally has 2 on it.
No, I just want
No,
to know.
it does. It's just Horizon Forbidden West, isn't it?
Yeah, do you think
Doesn't it have a 2?
it does have a 2?
It does.
Yeah, it has a 2.
Yeah, it was on the release trailer.
The title is
Okay.
Horizon. It's big. Right in between of Forbidden West, there's two eyes, and then underneath you got Forbidden West. So
Oh well, yeah. If it has it has a numerical, then I say yes, it's a sequel.
okay.
But if
So
it doesn't have a 2,
God of War Ragnarok, where
4 years.
you don't think that's a sequel. You think that's DLC.
it's an expansion, and DLC is not a bad thing. If it's in God of War, I think it's already
so
a shorter
this
game.
is
But
what I
if
need.
that God of War is like 5 hours,
I need
it's
a
an
direct
expansion
quote.
DLC.
I need a direct quote on this because it's the
What?
silliest thing I think I've ever heard anybody say.
Okay.
So I need a quote from Corey for the God of
Everybody,
War.
Hey,
what up,
man,
y'all?
can you tell me
What
how
up, y'all?
Demon
I
Souls
got a
is
super
remastered?
chat real quick. I want to read this.
Hold on, I'm gonna answer that.
Frostbite Slash. The Horizon sequel is called Horizon Forbidden West. So are you trying to say it's DLC? Again,
If there's no 2, I'm gonna look it up right now.
there is a 2. I can put it on screen if you need the picture. actually. Going above and beyond, and I'll get you that picture. Um,
So
this is what I wanted to ask you though.
You're telling
When it comes to God of War, what do they call God of War? Remember, they had God of War 1, 2, and 3 already. So the new God of War, what do they call it? Do they call it God of War 2 again?
No. What are you saying? The new God of War 2, if they were to do a sequel?
For you to believe it not to be DLC, what do they have to call the game?
Yeah, I have to call it 2, and then
they've already had
and
God of War. So.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have to call it God of War 2 Ragnarok. That will let me know, okay, this is different God of War 2.
Well, okay, tell me how a DLC takes place almost 4 years after the original game. Explain.
What do you mean? DLC can take place 1,000 years after the original game.
Which game?
However you want to do it. I mean, it just depends on the writing. You can create any type of writing MacGuffin bullshit you want to do. Say Assassin's Creed. Now we're going to a different time period. You can do all kind of bullshit.
Assassin's Creed. It has to do with history.
No, they use time machine MacGuffins, and they can do all kind of bullshit that they want to do in Assassin's Creed. From my understanding, no, they still do it. But yeah, if you write it like that, yeah, you can have DLC do anything.
Can I say something?
There we go.
Sure.
He did say he never he did like over 10 interviews. He said he about to put multiplayer on that and he about to put DLC, but he said he did not want to do that. He said he gonna do it. He said they working on a new God of War. He did not say that he gonna put.
Are you saying you saying Corey Barlog?
Yes, he did not. He did come out his mouth. He said he about to put DLC for God of War, but he said he not gonna do it. He thought about it. He said, "Nah, I'ma just keep the story like going, like God of War, like yeah." It came out.
Okay, so you agree you did hear that though, right?
Yeah, he did say that, but he did not say.
Okay.
He came out his mouth to say he did not. He don't want to do.
So look, man. Again,
but,
I can't. All I do is put out the facts. If at that time you can't believe the facts, then you're just going somewhere else, and I can't follow. So if you believe if a game does not have a number behind it, it's DLC, then hey, that is what it is. Some games end up transforming. No, some games end up transforming into something completely different. What do you think Gears Judgment is? Is that DLC?
This is it's a standalone side story.
Okay.
And I believe it's a prequel.
Again, we could say the same thing about Spider-Man. We could say the same thing about Ragnarok. You see what I'm saying? Gears Judgment, not DLC, right? It's a standalone.
But it's so far removed from the original story. I'll say this, like like if they do, I'm trying to think of a game that goes through like the exact same map, just with like different characters and shit. That type of stuff is DLC. Even if they sell it alone and call it a different name. But if you're using the same world maps and all that stuff, yeah, it's DLC. But Gears Judgment, that's completely different maps, different enemies, different shooting mechanics, different styles. It's just fundamentally not the same Gears game.
I just want to know where the hell you heard Corey Barlog said this.
You just heard the other guy say he heard it too. I mean, it was. If you were around in the game industry, you just heard it.
I want a link.
He said,
Can
I say something? I say he said he all about to make it open world, but he said he didn't want to do it because.
Okay, so look, we're gonna kind of go away from this. We're gonna get the definition, then we're gonna move on. Because again, he believes what he believes. We can't change that. We could dive all the way into religion. Some people believe.
I'm gonna get you guys that link.
Yeah. So this is what I want to read off to you. This is the definition of downloadable content, aka DLC. Downloadable content is additional content created for an already released video game distributed through the internet by the game's publisher. So the game is digital, right? But it's also physical. Now, this definition was created when gaming was young, when DLC was young. But as of right now, the game would have only been released as add-on content to Spider-Man Remaster, which was not learned about until later on, which was an added bonus because the game was 2 years old. So I could understand them
But
having
you
that as an
confirm it
angle.
uses the same world as the original Spider-Man, right?
Why wouldn't it be set in New York City?
You can have Spider-Man Miles Morales in the Ultimate Universe, have it completely different from Spider-Man. You can have, in Earth 2099. You could do all type of shit with Marvel. So they did a concerted effort to have it in the exact same universe. And it is available. You can download it. So that doesn't exclude that definition.
Everything is downloadable now.
Of course, but per
So
your definition, it is
if
for a game that is already pre-released and it's additional content.
if we go down that rabbit hole, then everything could be considered downloadable content. Everything. This is what I want to ask you: is there an ability to download Spider-Man Miles Morales as additional content to Spider-Man PS4? So when you start up Spider-Man PS4 and on PS5 you start up Spider-Man Remaster, can you go into Spider-Man Miles Morales without changing the game?
Nope.
So it's not added content. It's a standalone.
Yeah.
We just went through this with Judgment, right?
Yeah.
Judgment is
That's what I'm saying. It's a standalone expansion.
There you go. It's a standalone expansion. Can't be DLC if it's not tacked on.
But it's in the direct world, and I believe we alluded to some type of something happening. But these stories are so intimately connected. It's not like they're completely different games. Like I said, Gears Judgment is a prequel. If you have something it's disconnected. It's not the same thing. Different play mechanics.
You don't have the same characters, right? Peter Parker, aka the original Spider-Man, out of the country. Mary Jane, out of the country. You don't deal with Aunt May. You don't see her. You deal with Miles Morales, his mom, best friend from childhood, his new best friend, his uncle, his best friend's uncle. That's what I've experienced so far. A new group of enemies, a new big boss in town. You hear remnants of what happened in the years prior to this new Spider-Man. There is a different season. There are a different focus on the things you can do and you can't do. The swinging is much better as far as the trick set that they added, which is not in Spider-Man. Not the massive amount. Different powers, different combat, different animations, different attention to detail. Again, just because it's set in the same city, which it would not be set in any other city. This is his very first time being Spider-Man, the protector of New York City, so I don't know why he would go to fucking Texas or Florida.
But man, you can do anything.
This is Spider-Man Miles Morales. When you have Spider-Man,
but Spider-Man Miles Morales was not always with Peter Parker. That is a newer, there's a newer addition that they're doing. So it did not have to be like that.
Exactly. In this game, you're not with Peter Parker.
That's what I'm saying. They were not even in the same universe in the comics, so it does not have to be the same.
Until recently, when they made
until recently, it doesn't have to be like that.
Exactly, but it doesn't mean it's DLC.
But it is, because it's an expansion.
It's DLC in your mind. We're gonna move on to the next topic.
That's not a bad thing, bro. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's an expansion.
Nobody's saying it's a bad thing. But by your definition and your public opinion, it's DLC.
I'm going on the record.
By everybody's standard, it is not DLC. So you may be alone, and I've heard other Xbox fans say the same thing, but there are tons of other games. I don't have enough time to do the research that are only on Xbox that have subtitles that could be considered the same thing. In the same universe.
Yeah, one more thing. With respect.
This is another one. This one popped up. This was really, really popular when I was doing the console war shit 2 generations ago.
Right.
Halo ODST. What is that? Halo Reach. What is that? Is that DLC?
I believe Halo Reach is a prequel. I believe Halo ODST, I would call that a standalone side mission DLC.
Okay.
Something like that.
There you go. Eddie, what was you gonna say? Was somebody about to say something?
I just said one more thing. You mentioned, it's not part of Spider-Man, and that does make it a standalone expansion. It is a standalone expansion. But with regards to Call of Duty Warzone, there's nothing excluding that, file size from being added on if you wanted to add on that file size. So if they wanted to add it in, and make it a DLC, there's nothing excluding that from happening. It just so happens to be standalone.
Okay. Speaking of digital only games as well as standalone games that could be purchased, um, do you have a problem with Game Pass, and how much memory do you have? Because I heard just as early as yesterday that Xbox fans have access to over 300 games on Game Pass. I don't really know if that's true because I've counted multiple times and it is not 300 games. It's actually closer to 100 or over 100. But with that
No,
many
it's
games,
like 250,
okay. With that
but
many games, how
it
much
goes
space?
up. It goes up.
How much space would you need? Because see, I have 100 games even
Hmm.
on my 8 terabyte external hard drive.
Hmm.
Do you know how
Jeez.
much space that takes up?
How much?
A lot of fucking space. So, as a Game Pass subscriber, I'm guessing you are. How many games do you have on
Yes,
your
sir.
hard drive?
I've run two. I run my internal hard drive. That's about 850, something like that. Then I have a 500 gig SSD. Altogether, I have, I want to say, 89 games installed.
So, I have 100 games installed, and
Hmm.
there's some pretty big fucking games.
Hmm.
And at any other time, I can download probably an additional 100. These will be
Hmm.
PS4 games, or cross generation games, obviously available on PS4. I'm taking up 344 terabytes of
Hmm.
space. So, how much space do you have on your? I'm assuming you have an Xbox Series X, right?
Not yet, man. The demand was at an all-time high. I wasn't able to secure it yet, but it's coming soon. I still got my One X.
Okay. So, how much space is taken up by games on your One X?
Like I said, all together, with those 89 games between the both, because it just gives me the readout for the total memory. So I got like 200 gigs left. So a
So,
little bit over
so
about
how
like
much space did you
1.3
originally have?
terabytes.
How much space did
It'd be just under like 1.4 terabytes,
Okay. So
1.5 terabytes.
I've been traveling around with this external hard drive for the better part of 2020, if I'm correct, because
Mm,
I figured that I would not have a good enough luck to not be physical. I didn't know that until later that they were gonna have two editions, but I knew that the transition was gonna be much better if I had my games on this external hard drive and I could play them or transfer them to the PS5 that was coming out. So I
mm-hmm,
lucked out. I was right about that. It works flawlessly. All the enhancements still work. But with so many games on Game Pass, and Game Pass is explain to me what it is, because this is the thing in our community, right? In our section of the community, and you know what I mean. Um,
mm-hmm,
we don't have a lot of people that might do what I do or do what I do for a long time, especially when it comes to Xbox. Um,
mm.
it took years before I could see what the UI looked like. I still don't really understand Game Pass. We just know it's good for you and it benefits you. $1 or
Hmm.
a few additional dollars a month, and you get 300 games, or that's what I'm hearing. Um,
Hmm.
so what is Game Pass? Is it only you download these games at a subscription price, or is it a streaming element to Game Pass?
Game Pass is a aggregate temporary license service. That's the core of Game Pass, where you get temporary licenses for a minimum of 1 month, which is either 9.99 or 14.99 with Game Pass Ultimate. So it gives you a temporary license to these games. You're not renting the games. As far as you can download them. If you unsubscribe from Game Pass, they're still on your hard drive or whatever you save them to. and you can purchase a permanent license, which is regularly buying a game, and you can resume playing that game exactly where you left off from. Your games are saved to the cloud with Xbox and everything. So that's what Game Pass is. Game Pass Ultimate adds on the service of it includes Game Pass for PC, and it also includes game streaming, which is colloquially referred to as xCloud, which allows you to stream games onto your phone. That's about 100 games they're in the cloud. And you can also remote stream your entire Xbox console, which is a function of remote streaming. But that came through Game Pass also. So that's what Game Pass is. And Game Pass is also, you get day and date releases of Xbox first party games. So games like Ori and the Will of the Wisp, games like Gears 5 Hive Busters, freaking Gears Tactics, Wastelands 3, the Outer Worlds, all of that stuff comes to Game Pass day and date release. Much like HBO Max is going to release the Warner Brothers movies in HBO Max the same day as theaters, you get these games day and date. And they no longer have that deal for $1. You can still sign up for $1, but that's only for a 3-month trial. But after that, it's either $9.99 for the service. Oh, and it also includes Xbox Gold with Game Pass Ultimate. So there's a hell of a lot of value with that. A part of that 300 games with Game Pass is also EA Play that's now included in Game Pass, no additional cost. And you get third-party games, like I mentioned earlier. Devil May Cry 5 came to Game Pass 2 months after release. Before the Bethesda deal is even finished, Doom Eternal has come to Game Pass. The Elder Scrolls has come to Game Pass. We had Kingdom Hearts 3 about 5 or 6 months after release came to Game Pass. So you get premier third-party games. Mutant Year Zero, that was a game that brought me to Game Pass. You get premier third-party games and first-party games coming to Game Pass. It's a great value, man. You cannot be beaten right now. And also you get Game Pass perks. So like I mentioned earlier too, I was able to get 6 months free of Spotify Premium, a month free, 2 months free of Discord Nitro, 2 months free of Funimation, 6 months free of Postmates, free delivery. You get all kind of shit with Game Pass, man. Free skins, free points. Go for it.
That's your question, homie.
Yeah,
They give you all this stuff to y'all. But they ain't giving y'all no new game.
we get new games. With
No,
new games.
I'm talking about like new games. I'm talking about like new games, like new games. I'm talking about
like what?
not Gears, new game. I'm talking about not Gears. I'm talking about a new.
The medium just got available for pre-install.
Yeah, we got Dragon Quest 11 that came day and date to Game Pass.
No, homie. No, I'm home. I ain't talking about no game.
That's new to Xbox.
I'm talking about.
What you mean, bro?
I'm talking about like a game, a
Scorn?
new game for Xbox. I'm talking about a new Xbox game,
Like Scorn?
No, I'm talking about like a new game that just.
He's
like,
talking about AAA first-party Xbox exclusives.
Yes, I'm talking about that. I'm talking about they should give y'all more games, more like the old
Game Pass when they come out.
So
what games do you want? We got Gears Tactics.
Yeah. That's a great game, by the way.
Good.
But let me point something out.
What new games do you want, bro?
What they're talking about? Let me put it this way. They're asking you for games that would attract other gamers, right? System sellers, right?
Ori and the Will of the Wisp is a 10 out of 10 top tier game. If you don't like that, you don't like gaming.
That game's on the Switch.
Yeah.
I know.
It's a great game.
We're talking about system.
It's so great they had to port it.
That's cool.
I know that.
We're talking about system sellers only for your system.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you okay, you guys are a part of the panel, right? I would implore you, right? I can give you the link to look at the live stream. When you were talking, I was scrolling down. Now, PlayStation now has at least 400 downloadable fucking games, right? At least 400 downloadable games from the PS4, right? We already know the deal with the PS1 and 2 is not massive, but you can download those games on here. any of the games that were for the PS1 and 2 that got remastered for the PS3 that are in the PS3 section. But the amount of games
Are those new games in there?
There are a lot of new games. When you were talking, I was going in and out. You got Rage and Rage 2.
That's also on Game Pass.
Hold on. That's the cool thing about it. A lot
and owned by Xbox. That's Bethesda.
Again, that's awesome. But a lot of these games I'm about to name out, they're on Game Pass, but they're on PlayStation Now for the exact same
So what's the problem?
Hold on. The problem is Game Pass attraction is, hey, we have more games on this service that you can download that are not on other services, right?
I don't think it's necessarily more games. It's just Game Pass has 200 plus games. It's not saying more games. It's saying these games are amazing quality. But I don't think it has to be more or less.
One of the attractions, the attraction for Game Pass is, hey, we do have a service and it has a shitload of games. You don't have a service like us with a shitload of games. But however, PlayStation Now in the streaming phase existed before Game Pass and later on went downloadable with each and every PS4 game on this list. So
and also dropped from $20 to $9.99 because Game Pass offered a better value for gamers.
That's cool. But now it's competitive. So let me read off the list. Because I've been scrolling down forever because you've been talking forever. True Woody with a $2 super chat. I'm sorry, Jay. This man is straight capping. Well, let me cap too. Elder Scrolls Online, Tekken 7, Friday the 13th, Saints Row
Game Pass
Edition, Horizon Complete Edition, Little Big Planet 3, God of War 3 Remastered, Borderlands Handsome Edition, Dirt 4, Warhammer Vermintide 2, let me see, Stranded Deep, Farming Simulator 19, Destroy All Humans, the PS4 edition of the game, Mafia 3, The Evil Within 1 and 2, Saints Row Gat Out of Hell, Sniper Elite 4, For Honor, Rage 2, Dark Cloud 1 and 2. What is this? Metal Gear Solid, The Phantom Pain? Okay, I didn't know that was on there. Homefront, The Revolution, Sniper Elite 3, Ultimate Edition, Ultimate Chess, Ape Escape 2, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Actually, I gotta play this because I'm watching Mandalorian, so that's cool. You got F-119, Fallout 4, Bloodborne, Days Gone, Medieval, Strider, Until Dawn, Wolfenstein New Order, MX versus ATV, Supercross Encore, never heard of that. Broforce, Surgeon Simulator, A&E, Limbo, Vampire, Greedfall, Heavy Rain, Project Cars 2, Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. That's a PS2 game, but it's available on PS4. I don't know what that's all about. Black Mirror, a Lego Batman 3, NBA 2K Playground 2, Street Fighter 5, a shitload of other MX versus ATV motocross games, by the way. Dead Nation, Apocalypse Edition, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, Rogue Galaxy, Dead Cells. What is this? Warhammer. Pokemon. What is it? Not Pokemon. Power Rangers, The Battle for the Grid, WWE 2K19, Project Cars, the original version, City Skylines, Dishonored 2, Dirt Rally, Hot Shots 10. Again, we do have a lot of games.
Got all these games. We got all these, besides the PlayStation exclusives, we got all those games in Game Pass. So I don't see, Homeboy was saying, where are the new games?
You don't have.
We got those games
because there's tons of multi-platform games on this list that you don't have. If you're telling me,
I'm telling you, you're reading that list. I have most of those games either downloaded or they're in Game Pass, bro.
What? If you do, that means you have over 400 to 500 games on Game Pass, and we already know you just said 250.
I didn't know. I didn't say. You didn't list 400 or 500 games just then. The ones that you listed, I'm saying all of the stuff you listed. No, never know.
You should go look at the live stream.
Let me pull it up, bro.
It's very similar to Game Pass, and at that point in time, I can scroll down. You can just look at all the games because it's that.
So I'm saying, what's the issue? I don't see what the
Game Pass is the best thing out there, right?
Yeah, but like I said, you also get that it's the best value in gaming. So, like I said, you get the xCloud streaming. A lot of those games you can play right on your phone, and you also get the Game Pass for PC. If you're a PC player, you get it on PC.
Element was an add-on.
No, it's included for free with the Game Pass Ultimate.
Okay, well, PlayStation now had a streaming element before the downloadable element, so it's still the same.
But to your phone, I'm saying this is through your phone through 4G or 5G. That's not the same thing.
We're talking about the consoles. Obviously,
we're talking about remote play. We can do remote play. You can do remote play for free, and you can also stream directly to your console any of the new games.
All that other stuff. I'm a console gamer.
Okay.
Okay, we're talking about
this is an added perk, bro.
We're talking about console versus console. The benefit of buying an Xbox over the benefit of buying a PlayStation. If you're gonna go on a cell phone, then you might as well just join a cell phone podcast. But this is not.
You don't got a cell phone, bro?
I have one, but I don't game on it. I'm not that type of gamer. I'm a classic gamer that comes home and turns on my fucking TV and I play my game system.
You don't want to play Dark Souls on the go. That's what you're saying.
On my cell phone? No, man. Because
what's the problem, bro?
When I'm at work, I work. I don't got enough time to play fucking Dark Souls. If I wanted to play Dark Souls, I'd quit my day job and I play Dark Souls at home.
Look, bro, on your lunch break,
how much time do you think I have at work to play that?
Hey, man, some people get hour and a half, 2 hour lunch breaks. It happens.
I got an hour long and I eat. And most of the time,
you eat for 10 minutes. You playing Dark Souls for 30 minutes. You're clocking in on time. Okay. What's the problem, bro?
Are you looking at the live stream? Because there's tons of fucking games here. There's tons of games. You got Lords of the Fallen, right? I'm gonna just name all the multi-platform games. You got Lords of the Fallen. That's a multi-platform game. Right?
No.
Okay, Payday 2.
I don't think so.
The Crime Wave Edition. You got that. Farming Simulator 17. You got that. I mean,
sir.
I can go down the list of only multiplayer games, but there are tons of them. Like PlayStation now has been adding games before Game Pass.
Okay, The Surge 2. Yep. Doom had that. Brothers had that. Kingdom Come had that. Oh, y'all got Bubsy. That is fire.
Actually, talking. You play PlayStation games? You the dude talk? You play?
Do I play PlayStation games?
No, I think you're an Xbox dude, but
I wouldn't disrespect myself like that, sir. No.
So, all right. Can I ask you something? What's game way better than you think? Will you play PlayStation game?
Will I play a PlayStation game?
Will you play Spider-Man? Will you play?
Is there any interest in any of the games that are only on PlayStation systems that you would go out and buy a system to play? That you really?
Yeah, I mean, Loco Roco. I remember that on my PSP. Definitely a banger for the PlayStation 5.
Okay. You guys.
Yes, I would play some games.
Okay.
Spider-Man. But I'm not too interested in Spider-Man. But I mean, I play it, but I'm not buying the system to play Spider-Man. I played Spider-Man on PS1. It was fun. But Spider-Man is the same fucking game. You swing and you punch people. I mean, what's new? God of War. It's a bastardization of God of War. Not really interested. Everything else, I'm just gonna lump into a group as trash, and not literal trash, but that is my level of interest.
You know what?
That's your opinion. So
that's your opinion. That's the thing people need to understand about opinion. It took me many years to understand this. Opinions can't be fucking changed. Facts can though. When you look at statistics leading up to that fact of sales, excitement, hype, review scores, awards, then when you say something's trash and all of that other shit contradicts you, then you're wrong. But however,
JayTech, the facts are this. The facts are that Cyberpunk sold more in its first day than The Last of Us 2. That is a fact.
And Cyberpunk went down too. No, it went down too. It went down too.
Hold on,
It just lost them $1 million too.
Okay, Eddie, hold on.
Okay, but it sold 8.9 the first day. It sold more than any PlayStation exclusive day one. So the fact is that Cyberpunk is better than any PlayStation exclusive. Is that right?
No, it's not.
Eddie,
it's not. No, it's not.
Eddie?
Is that why it has the fucking 3 on the user score, my dude?
That's what I want to ask.
And Demon Soul has a higher medic.
I'm a little overwhelmed here because I couldn't understand what you said. So Eddie jumped in and I couldn't understand. What game did you say
my bad.
sold a lot?
Cyberpunk, 8.9 million day one.
Where is the article for that? We will wait for a whole 3 hours for you to find that article.
I mean, you didn't see it?
No. You saw something that the world did not see. I saw pre-orders,
Oh,
and I saw the pre-orders were 8 million, but pre-orders don't
yeah.
equal to sales. So how many copies did it sell?
It probably sold more than that, but yeah, the pre-orders were 8.9 million.
Have a link? We deal on facts.
Hey, we should look at the
You confirmed you saw 8 million, right? You just confirmed you saw 8 million pre-orders.
Yes, the studio said we have the most pre-orders. It was 8 million. It did not equal to sales. We all know that's not true.
Okay, they said from the conversion, from announcing the pre-orders and announcing that they had they're in the green. They made back everything from the investment and development of the game with the sale. So that money was made. Now they may have returns. They may have more than likely they have more purchases than just the pre-orders. That is the likely reality.
I think what you should do is next time when you want to bring that shitty ass argument up, all due respect, don't.
I'm just using your point. You said we have facts. We have facts to determine what game is good, and you know that's just the fact that it sold more than any PlayStation exclusive and Xbox.
You group together a lot of PlayStation exclusives, right? And you said this is what this is your quote. We're gonna group them all together and call them trash. So you were
besides Spider-Man, besides Spider-Man,
we're talking about exclusives, right? And this is what I don't understand about the Xbox community. Why go to multiplats?
What do you mean?
You made a little joke about grouping all PlayStation exclusives together, and I'm gonna just call them trash. That was your quote. And then, in the same breath, you brought up one of the worst multi-platform games in the history of fucking gaming. So how about you don't do that? Okay.
Look,
how about
that was just an example because you explained.
No. You have a lot of games on Game Pass, right? So how about hopefully your Xbox is on. I always keep my PS5 on. Get on your Xbox, take as much time as you need, run through the collection of Game Pass games that are from the Xbox. And I'm not talking about Bethesda, because Bethesda made all those games before the acquisition. We don't know how good Bethesda is going to be after the acquisition. So try to find some Xbox games that were created between 2013 and 2018. And let me know if they're better than a group of games that you're calling trash. By the way,
why is this a console thing though? We're just going by sales of the game. You said we can use you're saying my taste in the game may be subjective, but we can have objective facts as far as sales and everything. So I just said, according to using sales as a fact. This game has sold X amount. It sold more than Final Fantasy VII Remake. It sold more than Last of Us. It sold more than Gears 5. It sold more than whatever Xbox game, this past generation.
That, bro, except for you. That's your opinion. And you have not. I know you're laughing it off, but
Cyberpunk is not no Xbox game.
You have two ways to communicate.
You said what game?
Cyberpunk is not an Xbox game. It's a PC, PlayStation, and
I never said it was an Xbox game. It is a piece of software that's available for sale.
Exactly. So let me put it this way, bro. You have you can DM me in Twitter like you have. You can post a message on Discord, and literally I can share the screen. I have that technology on Streamlabs that I can share the screen. So how about you, because you have this information, just share with us where you saw this.
I got you, bro. I'm here to educate.
The real sales number of Cyberpunk. We're not talking about the pre-orders. We're talking about it sold this number. When any developer, first, second, indie, AAA, it doesn't matter. When they get a sales number, they love to brag about it. I'm pretty sure you might be able to find a number if it exists.
So you're telling me I did not read headlines talking about PlayStation 5 pre-orders being the most in history? I did not read those headlines. So that is not a metric that's important at all. Pre-orders are not an important metric.
Not really, because we don't talk about the pre-orders after God of War actually came out and said, hey, we sold 10 million copies.
So that pre-orders do not give you an indication of what is going to sell.
Do pre-orders
within a margin of error? Within a margin of error.
Well, I mean, look.
And you can give me one.
The developer was very happy with the pre-order, so they probably later on announced, hey, we've sold these many copies. Sold. SOLD. Can you find those links for the sold numbers of Cyberpunk? Before shit went down. Bro. Again, don't make no excuse about pre-orders. We don't want to hear that. We want to hear how many did it sell, the sold number of the software. That's all that really matters.
J-Tech, can I say something?
Yeah.
They just lost 1 million They just lost 1 million.
No.
They just lost it.
They lost $1 billion on their investment.
Billions, a billion.
Yeah,
a billion.
They're
So
going to continue to lose.
From valuation, not from sales losses. From valuation.
I think you should
from
talk
investors.
You should talk about Gears 5. You should talk about Halo 5. You should talk about Forza. You should talk about all these other games and the sales numbers that were released by the company that you support. But talking about a game that will not have the sales numbers officially known until after all this bullshit is over is the weirdest flex I've ever saw. Like, you've picked the wrong fucking game. Shit, you could have said fucking Call of Duty. It has a sales number posted. Because they don't have this bullshit going on. But you picked, out of all other fucking games, you picked Cyberpunk. The game that does not have a definitive sales number because refunds are being issued. Do you understand that? It's a weird flex, man. Even for you. Hello? Anybody else here?
Left.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he should be back, but it's just the weirdest flex.
By the way, I look. Oh, now there it is.
You good?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Where I cut out at?
I don't think I heard you for a while, but you were flexing on Cyberpunk. Pre-orders equal sales, and the developer didn't announce the sales. I'm pretty sure if they announced the sales, people would be pissed off because they would be bragging. Now, we did hear that they gave a lot of money away to their people for bonuses. Then they had to fucking backtrack on that because they're losing a lot of money. So again, if you're giving out the bonuses based on the pre-order money, but then you got to give the money back, but you already gave out the bonuses, of course you're going to lose a lot of money. So we don't know how many people are going to get the refunds, right? And we don't know how many sales they're going to be left with. So all I'm saying,
can you give me a plus or minus?
I don't fucking know. I don't work for them. All I'm saying is just a weird flex for them, for you to bring them up. There's other games.
Oh, let me clear it up. I will never. I'm not flexing Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is dog shit, has been dog shit, and will remain to be dog shit. I've never hyped up that game. I'm just saying.
Up the pre-orders.
No. You said that using facts like sales determines the quality of a game. You said you want to use objective facts like that to determine if a game is quality, not my subjective thoughts. So I simply brought up Cyberpunk, of course, to say sales are not an indication of quality.
This is also what I brought up, and I know you have a selective memory. I also said Metacritic scores and awards, as well as popularity and hype. So
it got fucking 100 on Metacritic. That's even worse. I'm telling you, bro. I knew this game was dog shit, and it was getting 100 on Metacritic. What the fuck is that? Metacritic is junk. It's trash. And you had reviewers coming. Hold on. You had reviewers coming out and saying, "I knew I had to give this game 100. If not, they wouldn't get their bonuses." These people are fucking connected shills, and they're giving these games 100 bullshit scores because they either want to push an agenda or they're looking out for their buddies to make sure to get bonuses.
Those are literally individual websites. They gave it perfect scores. There's 13 perfect scores for the PC. I've read them. Trust me.
Okay.
We're talking about the end result of those individual scores, which equal up to an 87, which is not good for a hyped up game like that was bragged about being in the 90s when it could not stay there.
Yeah, still higher than it should be.
Yeah, it is. But is it any other games that came out in 2020 that you could brag about that are on the Xbox side? Ori. Oh, you bragged about
Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
It did so good that it went to Switch. Such a good game that it went to Switch. How much did that sell? It was a cheap game.
How much did it sell? Yeah, and I think that's when I think that's where I got cut off. It because Game Pass is released day and date, the value added to Game Pass it can't easily be quantified. So the sales, that's no longer exactly a useful metric. We have to look at the 15 million in Game Pass. We have to look at when Halo Infinite drops, we're going to have 20 plus million in Game Pass because of that. So we have residual income with the software in Game Pass. It's not the same thing. So how much did Ori sell? I couldn't tell you. Probably under a million. But the value added to that is it can't be beaten, man. Ori is a top tier. It's a 10 out of 10 game.
Okay. That's good. I think it picked up about 2 awards at the awards show. Um,
Yeah.
so we were not. I already knew these answers. Don't worry about that. We're never gonna get any sales numbers for Xbox, so you would have to go to a multi-platform game, which is probably not the best.
As we shouldn't.
Yeah, the metric for multi-platform games, as long as it's on PlayStation, with a bigger install base, and more systems in the hands of gamers around the world. We're talking about the PS4. It's probably not the best thing to bring up in a discussion because you will be touting.
But JayTech, do sales determine the quality of a? I mean, we know Demon Souls sold under a fucking million copies, and here we are with the remake, and people, bitching about it. So sales are not indicative of the quality or the reception of a game.
Demon Souls got a remake 11 years later because obviously, yes, the original game sold like shit. Nobody had ever
The numbers don't justify a remake. The numbers don't justify a remake.
Exactly. But there was never a game like Demon Souls. It was the very first Souls game ever. Nobody even said Soulsborne when describing a game. Nobody even said, oh man, this is the Dark Souls of this platformer or any of that bullshit. No, it was.
That's when the world was a better place.
Exactly. I understand why it sold like shit. You had Atlas in charge of publishing, and I couldn't even find a fucking copy. I had to go out of state to find a copy of Demon Souls, so I can understand why it sold like shit. They also didn't put it digitally on the PlayStation Store until towards the end of the generation. So yeah, no backwards compatibility also for the PS4, obviously. So yeah, it sold like shit. They had to make a remake for it to do better. But it spawned some of the best games that a lot of gamers have ever played. We're talking about Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, Sekiro. Now you got... Oh, sorry. I apologize. Elden Ring is coming over, but we don't know how good it's going to do. We're not going to make that same mistake twice with the Cyberpunk shit. But if you're looking at the live stream, I just started Castlevania Lord of Shadows, which is a PS3 title. It is streaming directly to my PS5, and it looks like it's working flawlessly.
Yeah, actually, I got this game for free with Games with Gold. Yeah,
yep.
It looks
Never
dope,
paid
man.
for this game once. Not
Me neither.
I really did like this. I wish they would have actually continued, but Konami is shit. So, but this was one of my favorite types. I didn't like the side scrolling that much.
Oh, so let me ask you this: one that I think you missed, and we touched on Mighty Number 9. I think a good game in contrast to that is Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night. Do you like that game? That one's like a side scroller, more like Castlevania. I think the game's dope.
I probably would, but I'm talking about the original Castlevanias. I didn't play those.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like side scrolling like that.
I played a couple of the other ones that were remastered for the PSP. So it probably would be better. And the lore and storytelling would probably be better. God damn.
Yeah.
Man, this is fucking dope.
I think it's on PS now, man. Check it out.
Right now, my favorite game right now on Xbox is Gears 1, 2, and 3. Fuck the rest of Gears. And Halo 1,
You said
2,
fuck the Acid Gears?
Yes, Gears 1, 2, and 3. And Halo 1, 2, and 3. And I don't like the rest of the Halo. They change it up. I don't like. I like the old Xbox 360 era. That's my favorite one. Xbox 360. I don't like the I bought me an Xbox and I trade my Xbox in for the PlayStation 4. I had one.
So you played the games or you didn't play the games?
I played the games. I played all of them. I just like Xbox. So ever since Phil Spencer took over, it just went down. Like I missed the old Xbox 360 days.
So
that was my favorite.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro. I'm sorry to hear that.
360 was, I will say, very competitive. Everybody that was in charge of that shit, they went out, they got the deals, whether it was contract, second party, first party, indie, it doesn't matter. They went out, They got what they wanted. They were vicious as shit. They had a drive to win, and then
Mm.
for some weird reason, I think the last 2 to 3 years, they just fucking, I don't know, they kind of didn't do as
When
good. But
unless
I do hope that Xbox can make a turnaround as far as being competitive. I
yeah,
understand that they don't want to be competitive, and how can you when you have all your games on Game Pass and nobody can know if it sells good or not? That used to be a metric, and
yeah.
it's still a metric for most people. But as
And I
far
was asking, why do game sales? How does that determine the quality of a game? Why do you need to know
Oh,
the
it does
game
not.
sales to
It
know
does
I like
not.
this
It does
game?
not determine the quality of a game. It determines if the gaming community wants to go towards that game. If the gaming community sees something in that game that they wanted to buy it for, it doesn't mean the game is going to
Not
be great.
necessarily. That's like the game Hades. It's just not available on Xbox or PlayStation. So how the fuck will I know if I like it? I might like it. I gotta wait for it to come to it. The gaming community fully cannot embrace that game. It's PC and Switch. I'm not getting a damn Switch. I'm not playing on PC. So it doesn't mean oh, this is the reception of the gaming community. It just is what it is, man.
Well, I don't see shit that way, and I'm not a sheep, so I can't say that. I'm only speaking from what I see. I see people buy
I,
Madden, Call of Duty, Need for Speed every fucking year. I see people buy Assassin's
yep,
Creed every year. They don't know if it's
yep,
actually gonna be good until they actually play it, but they blindly buy these games every year. For some
yeah.
weird reason, for these individuals, they must be good enough for them to spend $60 or $70 every year for the same game all the time. So that's all I'm saying.
Uh,
Other people do it. I don't do that.
yeah.
I buy
I mean, the
games
same thing
from
happened with
trusted
Cyberpunk.
developers. Yeah, and I didn't buy that fucking game. Glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Dodged the bullet there, major bullet. But do you think that Xbox is gonna? I already know the answer to that, but you think the Game Pass is gonna carry Xbox until fall when Halo comes out?
Dude, most definitely.
Do
There's
you
so
think
many games on
could
Game
sell?
Pass.
You think it could sell a lot of consoles? Because next year we're
What do you
expecting
mean
most
sell consoles?
people go out and buy Xbox Series X to experience only Game Pass until Halo is ready.
If they're that type of gamer, then yes. If gamers are exposed to Game Pass and understand the value of it, yeah. There's some people who still on this kick they want to buy their games. That's for them, man. I'm all digital. I don't care about quote unquote owning a game as long as I have access to it. I don't care about owning music. I use Tidal Music, and I get all my shit in hi-fi. I don't need to own music. I used to buy CDs. What's the point? I just pay for a subscription. So I think as people get more used to that, especially with the HBO Max thing, people are getting used to this subscription service thing. So yeah, people are gonna say, well, yeah, I just want to pay a small fee and I get all my games. So yeah, once they see Game Pass, it will quote unquote sell consoles. But I think I said earlier, the people who buy these consoles are going to be your quote unquote hardcore first adopters. So it's people who have Xbox. It's people who, I think they said 40% of users with the console are new to Game Pass. So that's actually a huge metric. So people are getting introduced to Game Pass. Um, I, I don't think Game Pass has to quote unquote sell consoles. The console sells itself. Xbox Series X is the best hardware. We can debate software. We can debate software. What games you prefer, what quote unquote AAA games or whatever. But it is hands down the best piece of hardware you can buy right now. So that's if they're
Do
looking for the
you
best
do you
console, they're
do
gonna
you
get an Xbox.
do you think Xbox being the best console and Game Pass will actually be a payoff?
Yes.
Can you definitively say they are going to sell more consoles than a competitor next year?
Definitively they're going to sell more
I mean, it's the most
selling more
powerful
consoles.
consoles and it has
It's not
the
about selling. Why is it about selling more consoles? Think about it.
again
If
when you say something like, "Hey, it's the best console," right? And then you also
Yeah.
say, "Hey, we're giving away free games for a cheap price." Who wouldn't jump at that?
Well, JTech, Chick-fil-A, I mean, I think it's, this can be subjective or objective, but I think it's safe to say Chick-fil-A has one of the best chicken sandwiches. It doesn't matter, now they're their second biggest, fast food chain, and we're talking billions and billions of dollars. I don't think they necessarily care if McDonald's is still number one. We're making fucking money hand over fist, hundreds of billions of dollars. Yeah, so what? We're number two. We're killing the game. We are making money. So it's not about if the Xbox sells more than PlayStation. PlayStation has been a global brand. Sony has been a global brand. People have indoctrinated in Sony has hardware. PlayStation had 10 years before Xbox came out. There was more. I started playing on PlayStation. There was no Xbox when I was growing up. There was PlayStation. When Xbox came out, I realized I'm an Xbox gamer. This is the platform for me. So there's people who prefer PlayStation. There's people who prefer Xbox. I think with the value of Game Pass, that $300 Series S, there's going to be PlayStation people who get a Series S. The Series S is honestly outpowering the majority of gaming PCs on the market right now. That is a fact. So there's going to be people upgrading from PC to get an Xbox. It's just the best value in gaming. So of course it may not sell more than PlayStation. You said what?
Which system? Did you say the Xbox Series X or S?
Series S is more powerful than the majority of gaming PCs on the market right now. Well, that is a fact.
I'm gonna say obviously that's the case, but as far as all these head-to-heads that we saw on Digital Foundry, which was a trusted source for many Xbox fans going into the end of this year.
Gamers as a whole, yeah, you can say
that. It seems like Xbox has not been doing as good as the competitor. I don't care if you're going to say tools or it's not ready or the developers don't have a grasp. The fact of the matter is, if you're going to have the most powerful console, you should be outdoing PlayStation at every turn.
Well, Jay said, what makes you say that, man?
Well, didn't you
as far as the game is not performing?
Didn't you say it's the most powerful console?
That's a fact, yeah.
Okay, so why isn't it performing better?
That's a software issue. Now, the console is the most powerful console.
This is from the Xbox fanboy community. All year, you guys have said we were going to play the multi-platform games better than the PS5. That was a quote from the Xbox fanboy community. This is not from Phil. This is
I can't confirm or deny that.
Well, I've been hearing it. And I know you associate with a lot of the people that have been saying that or putting that out into the airwaves. Now that is not a fact, and it was a lie the entire time, when do you believe games will start performing better on Xbox than the PS5? Because until then, what you're saying is an opinion. It's not a fact. We have the facts now, and no matter how many teraflops or RDNA being real or fake, none of it actually matters when it comes to the games head-to-head. They perform better. SSD matter to you guys, but still, it is a factor on why games are running better and loading better.
It didn't matter for Cyberpunk on PS5 either. I mean, you documented the level of jank. So there's a software issue with Cyberpunk, right? Not the hardware of the PS5. It's the software. Yeah, that's why it's running below 1200p, right?
It's developed for base model. So yes.
Okay. So yes. So that's where we're going. So there's a software issue on the Xbox
and PS4 and Xbox One.
I'm sorry. One more time.
The Xbox One base model versus PS4 base model. Which system is weaker?
You said between the base model Xbox and PS4?
Base model Xbox One and the PS4 base model. Which system is weaker?
The Xbox is weaker, I believe. I believe the Xbox has a better CPU, slightly.
Doesn't matter. We saw so many games. I can bring them up right now on screen. So many games.
And it's also not necessarily the weaker. It's the difference in the memory. The PS4 has a more advanced memory. The Xbox One had a lower level of memory. That is the major difference.
Didn't matter. Because you guys struggle to play catch-up. So much so that the Xbox One X was created and worked on for a couple of years. So, we're talking about Cyberpunk, which I really don't want to talk about anymore. You're talking about Cyberpunk, and it's a software issue. But if it's being created for the PS4 base model and Xbox One base model, obviously, it's going to do better. But when it comes to the next generation consoles, the impression I got from the Xbox fanboy community is that the system would do everything it was doing. I think I heard something like machine learning or something.
Honestly, the That was only PlayStation saying that the optimization with the smart shit. They're the only company on record saying that, you know, that will take care of optimization. Xbox never said anything like that. Machine learning is a highly useful tool. I believe it's a DirectX API, and it does do software upscaling. It does a lot of things with the graphics. It's going to be a huge boost, but that's not being implemented. Nothing of velocity architecture is being implemented right now. All of the games we have seen are cross-gen. So anything you say as far as Cyberpunk and the inadequacies on the PS5 is the same thing with Xbox Series X. These are all cross-gen games, bro. So nothing is using the power of the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. Even Demon Souls. Demon Souls looks good. Yes, it is a PS3 code game. It is a old game. That is a fact. It's running simultaneously, and it's also available on PC. So that means it is fixed to work with the 5200 RPM hard drive. It is not built specifically for SSD. So that game does not utilize a PS5. And I'm giving props to the PS5 right now. The PS5 can do much better than Demon Souls.
Oh, hold on. You said it's made for the PC.
It's a cross-gen. It's a cross-platform game. Yes, Demon Souls is coming to the PC. They said there was a slip. Bullshit. That game is coming to the PC.
Okay,
they've been porting games over to the PC, and that's not a bad thing. Same with Final Fantasy 16.
Like, again, you just don't understand. You're not on anybody else's podcast. We dealing facts.
Yes, sir.
No, multiple times on this podcast, you have brought up things that have not been proven, facts that you can't explain, like the sales numbers, and all the other shit before. This whole close to 2 hours, you've been doing that. I've caught it. Other people might not have. Okay. So how about if something's not proven, don't bring it up. You can talk about this shit on Twitter. You can talk about all this dumb shit on other podcasts. But if it is not a fact, don't bring it up.
Can you say this?
I mean, look. If I go out here and say
Demon Souls is not the best that the PS5 can do, can you level with me with that? This is the first month that PS5 came out. It's not the best that it can do.
We already know that. Everyone knows
so
that.
We know this about Xbox too, right? This is how every game engine goes. Like
let me ask you a question. What is
gaming before?
What came out
recently,
on Xbox Series X?
This is regular shit.
What came out on Xbox Series X that's exclusive that we have a metric for?
A metric as far as what? Performance or sales?
We have Demon Souls, right? That's only on PS5.
Yes.
What do we have that's on Xbox Series X that we can say, hey, this is not the best Xbox can do, it can do better? What game?
I guess we can start with Gears 5. That game looks absolutely amazing.
That game's an Xbox One title. We're talking about Xbox Series X, and let's also say PC because all your games go to PC anyway. So what games on Xbox Series X and came out on PC that was released on November 10th that we can use as a metric to say, hey, this is not the best the Xbox Series X can do? Can you name a game?
That hasn't came out yet because, like I said,
okay. So again, I understand.
So it's the same. It's just
your whole thing is to throw shit at PlayStation. I understand that, bro. I throw shit at Xbox.
I gave PlayStation props, bro.
Hold on. When you're sitting up here and say, hey, this is not the best Demon Souls could do. We don't even know what the best Xbox. It is an insult when you don't even have a game that you can fucking set up beside it.
Bro, that's not an insult. I'm saying PlayStation 5 will be doing 2 times, 3 times better than Demon Souls in 3 or 4 years from now.
That.
It's gonna look better.
Why even compliment? Why even fucking say that shit if you don't have anything? We can't. I'm a Libra. So
Are you saying that's not true? You think Demon Souls is the best that PS5 can do?
No, I believe it can do much better. But why even?
So that's not an insult. So you know it to be a fact.
I'm not bringing it up as an insult. I'm saying it's weird for you to bring that up when I can't look at your system and say the same thing. Isn't that fucked up?
We can look at Xbox Series X. We have Gears 5 running.
No.
We have it running 4K.
This is what I'm saying, bro. Isn't that game available on Xbox One? Right?
What does that have to do with anything?
It has everything to do
Miles
because
Morales is available for PS4 at 1080p 30. It does not have the ray tracing. It does not have ray tracing.
Listen to
60 What do you mean? It's a huge difference. They're completely different things,
60.
bro.
It just got an update for that. So,
yeah, so it's not on PS4. It's on PS5, right?
No. It got the update. You said it doesn't have it. It has that shit on PS5. We're not talking about Miles Morales. We're talking about Demon Souls. And we talk about Demon Souls.
Miles Morales is a cross-gen game, and you can see a huge graphical leap on PS5, correct?
Hold on, bro. You just lost the fucking argument, so you ran to another game. You're not doing that shit here. If you want to do that shit here, we can end the fucking stream. I don't give a fuck. But we're going to stay focused on one game. You talked about Demon Souls. You said that this is not the best PlayStation can do. Obviously, we know that. We know the PlayStation developers. We know they can pull out power well into the 5 years of the life cycle. Okay? Why even bring that up if we can't even look at Xbox? And your reply is, we're going to talk about Gears 5. Gears 5 is available on Xbox One, the Xbox Slim, the Xbox Slim Digital, and the Xbox One X. So why even talk about Gears 5, which was already released a year before
using that, there's no games that are exclusive to Xbox. So how can you say the Xbox is not performing then? Right?
Again, why even talk about PlayStation?
How can you say it's not performing?
You talk about PlayStation's exclusive, but you don't have any fucking exclusives of your own.
They're not. They're cross-platform games. They're not exclusive. If it's on fucking PS4 and PS5, it's exclusive to the PlayStation ecosystem, but it's not a fucking exclusive PS5 game. They lied. Jim Ryan lied to you and your community about that.
You just named Demon Souls, which is a PlayStation 5 exclusive. You talking about people lying? Like, you're the one that brought up an exclusive. And you're telling me Jim Ryan. Yeah. Okay, so again, you getting caught in your lie. You just said Jim Ryan lied. But you brought up a fucking game that I didn't.
He also lied to the PC community on the fucking July reveal stream when he said it was coming to PC. Okay, he lied. There you go. It's now only a PS5 exclusive.
When did he say it was coming to PC?
It was on the fucking July live stream.
No,
did you not watch it?
You said Jim Ryan said that it was coming to PC. When did he say?
Jim Ryan is not over that live stream. He didn't. He doesn't sign off for that. He's responsible.
Again, we're going.
Is he not?
By your words. You said Jim Ryan said it was coming to the PC. When did he say When did he say that out of his mouth?
I don't care when he said it out of his mouth.
No. You just said it.
It was typed up and it was put into that prompt. That means he signed off on that shit. Anything that happened at that show, Jim Ryan himself signed off for, or a subordinate that he approved signed off for. So he is responsible for Demon Souls saying it was coming to PC. So he either lied to the PlayStation 5, he either lied to the PC community, or he lied to the PS5 community saying that it was not going to be exclusive. Either way, he signed off on a lie. Or you're just saying he's a fucking retard and somebody typed that in for happenstance, or were they hacked? What do you think happened? Because that shit was in there, was it not?
It was at the end of the fucking show. And
it said Demon Souls was coming to PC, right?
I can understand all the mistakes that gone wrong with that, because there were tons of fucking games that had that new set. At the end of every game, whether it was second party, indie, third party, or exclusive, at the very end of the game, it had a flash of the PS5 console, the name of the system, and if it was a second party exclusive, if it was on PC, if it had an expiration date for exclusivity, it had all that. So I can understand the mistake. They corrected the mistake. But you're going as far as to say...
I believe that one came at the beginning. That was one of the ones that came at the beginning.
No, it didn't.
The Final Fantasy came at the end, but the Demon Soul ones, it showed coming to PC during the playing of the trailer.
No,
I could be wrong,
didn't.
but I remember. That's how I remember.
You are very wrong, because I caught screenshots and I looked at multiple videos that had that, and it was obviously at the end. Because during the whole trailer...
So you know what happened. You know what happened.
I saw it. Yeah, I know what happened.
Yeah.
And then they deleted that video.
So PlayStation was just incompetent. We can just say that.
Let's say they were incompetent. They had a lot of games to show off. They had more games than Xbox that they were showing off. So I can understand anybody making that mistake. That was not the only game that was made mistake. Hold on, I got a super chat. Frostbite Slash, that message said it was coming to other consoles as well. So are you saying it's coming to Xbox? It's clearly a mistake. Yeah, it really did.
Possibly, yes. Yeah, we have MLB The Show, which is a Sony. Now it is a Sony third-party game.
Let me ask you a question about MLB.
So it's possible, yes.
Let me ask you a question about MLB, because I already knew they were going to lose a lot of money on that. You said it is on Xbox currently.
No, I said it's coming to Xbox. It is no, I said it is now.
I
MLB is now a
I
third
I
party Sony
know
IP.
I know that it's going to Xbox. I know it's going to Switch and PC from the confirmation from Major League of Baseball. A lot of things have changed this year, so
Hmm.
I do believe it's still in the works. Normally, so late into the year, we have a confirmation from studios on what their future is going to be, or maybe they just wait until January. Um, will you be buying the game?
MLB the show.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate baseball, so I will not be buying that game. I
Okay.
might give it a try on. I found out hockey was a little cool, and I started watching it. I got a free hockey game on Xbox. I tried that shit out for a little bit. It was kind of cool. So I might try out baseball, but
Okay,
no,
the
I've
chat
always
is
hated
letting me
baseball.
know that Final Fantasy was the game that had it at the beginning, that it was going to be on PC underneath all the
Hmm.
gameplay. It was called Project
And that was
Athena.
also a quote unquote error.
No, Project Athena was true. It's going to be on PC and PS5 for 24 months. Final Fantasy
Okay.
16, that was an error. Difference between the two
Okay. So they made 2 out of 3 errors. Okay.
in different
I
shows.
got you.
In different shows.
It was all the same show.
Final Fantasy 16 is a timed exclusive for the PS5. Exactly. Obviously. Final Fantasy 15 went to Xbox and PS4 day one. It took some time to go to PC. This time around, they're not going to do that.
We're
Do
saying
you?
time to what? What other platform is it coming to?
Well, I mean, it might go to a Nintendo system if it comes out in the future and it's powerful enough. Uh, they make money over there.
Okay.
Developers want to put
Okay.
games on systems where they make money. So this will be the last question because I do want to relax and play some games today. So, do
For
you
sure.
think all developers are making a similar profit on Game Pass as they would if they were selling a $60 game to Xbox gamers?
I think I think it depends for each developer, man. Everyone's situation is different.
So if
Like we saw with.
every third party developer, let's say like since we were already talking about Square Enix, if Final Fantasy 16 did not get additional money from Sony for the exclusivity, and obviously the day one money they're going to be getting from pre-orders temporarily,
Mhm.
depending on people cancel their pre-orders, and then the definitive money once the purchase is final for buying the game. Um, do you think that's more money than they would make off of a Xbox Game Pass deal? Like if the game went to Game Pass day and date with the PS5 version, um, how do the developers get paid from Game Pass? That's what I want to know.
I'll entertain this, but honestly, it's none of our business because that is their business. But they have come out and said that there are different pay structures in Game Pass. There's a structure where you get paid just based off of the streaming, like music streaming. The more people play the game, the more you get paid out. I don't know with the I don't know what the numbers. I don't know if you watch Joe Budden. Joe Budden always says how much is a stream worth. We need to know that. How much is a stream worth? How much is a hour worth of gameplay worth? How much is it worth with ads? So that could be a possibly evolving structure. But that is what's in place now. The more you play, you can get paid. They also have a structure where they'll come in and if they partner with Xbox will pay for the full development of the game, and then any profit that the developer makes, that's what Xbox pays to get it on the service. And then the developer or publisher gets any of the profit from the game after. So that is a very attractive business model to me. Or developers can get, or developers and publishers, they can get the money up front. Game Pass will pay them a lump sum, and they will not get residual income from the streams or anything. So if a developer is, might be unsure, say maybe like a Japanese game where they don't think, many Americans might play it, they can just say, hey, give me X amount of dollars, whatever they're comfortable with. If that's what they sign and that's what they say that their product is worth, that's what they feel that their product is worth. They can sign that deal and they'll get that money, and they, won't get any residual income. I personally, I think that deal with the, and, they have changing deals too. They don't let us know everything. We're not part of that business meeting, and this is shit you probably need to do a consultation for to even get it. This shit is worth money.
Yeah,
Um,
I was thinking about that. The one that you said,
mm,
that they most of the time with these bigger AAA deals, you're getting all the Final Fantasy games going straight to Game Pass. No purchase needed because if you have
mm,
Game Pass, you can just play it off of there. Same thing with Kingdom Hearts. Same thing with Yakuza. These games are going straight to Game Pass. Been locked down by PlayStation for 2 or more generations. Um, there has to be some upfront money exchange when you know that that exclusivity deal for PlayStation won't happen again. Uh, Weirdly enough,
mm,
Square Enix is still doing exclusivity deals with PlayStation when it comes to Final Fantasy and other games. So I don't know what the fuck that means. I thought that if games go to Game Pass, their following games should be multi-platform because they're being unlocked, so to speak. Yakuza is unlocked, Kingdom Hearts is unlocked, Final Fantasy is unlocked, but it seems like again they're making or they expect to make so much money off of the gamers on the PlayStation side that they don't mind having games exclusive for a short amount of time. Um,
yeah,
so I expect that Phil Spencer or Xbox is paying a lot of these developers upfront money, a lot of money, like what happened with
yeah,
EA and EA Play or EA Access, and then with again the collection of Yakuza games, a collection of Kingdom Hearts, a collection of Final Fantasy games going to the service at one time. That's a lot of fucking games, man. Uh, Still unknown about the money. It could be millions, it could be thousands, hundreds of thousands, who knows. But I think
mm,
the way that they would get the money that they feel that they needed would be upfront. Again, the smaller developers, I believe you're right based on stream and how many people play those games. But I feel, and this is my opinion, I feel that it's still better to get the upfront $60 a person. Um, I hate
yeah.
to be a hypocrite and bring up CD Project Red again, but if we're gonna end this stream, we're gonna end it with them anyway. You talked about the 8 million pre-orders they got. They got a good amount of money. Some people might have only put $5 down on GameStop, but
Mm,
when I paid for my PS5, I could not put down a certain amount of money. Best Buy took the whole $424. So sometimes when you
mm,
pre-order from somewhere, you have to pay all the money. Same thing when it comes
mm,
to PlayStation Network. I don't know how it is for Xbox Live. You have to give them all the money for that game at one time.
mm,
So in some instances, they're making a shitload of money off the pre-orders because they're making their money right then and there until it's
mm.
out and you can't get your refund. So there's nothing on Game Pass that's good. The business model is not going to replace for everybody else PC, Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. I don't think it's going to replace that $60 up front from individuals. That you just can't. That's a lot of fucking
It
money when you
depends.
add that out.
I thought it was a good point how you brought up Yakuza too. Yeah, they're all going into Game Pass, but Yakuza had another interesting dynamic with Game Pass where it was announced to come to Game Pass 6 months after release. So yeah, they will get all of those upfront sales, and then people can experience it in Game Pass. But a big thing about Game Pass too, excuse me, another benefit I forgot to mention, you get 20% discount on the games in Game Pass. So not only do you get a discount on the games, but you can also get reward points back with Microsoft Rewards. So you get cheaper games, and you buy games, and you're going to get free games or free Game Pass with those reward points. So there's benefits for the developers in putting it on Game Pass. Like I said, once I remove, there's been games that come off of Game Pass, and I go ahead and buy them. But before they get taken out, I get 20% discount for the DLCs for games that are in Game Pass. You get 20% discounts on them. So I've bought a few DLCs because I feel like I'm getting a good value, man. So they still get sales with Game Pass. Game Pass does not kill sales. And they're on record saying Game Pass boosts sales, and I 100% believe that.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're gonna see next year. It's an exciting year. There's a few multi-plats I'm interested in.
Yeah,
There's a
man.
good amount of exclusives. I'm hoping that my main wish for next year is that all developers strive to learn this new hardware as quick as possible. I don't like delays. I've been gaming for a very,
Yeah.
very, very long time, and I would rather nobody be left behind. I don't want games that look like they're from the PS2 or 3. I need games that look like they're high quality, at least PS4, Xbox Series X games, or at least PS5 and Xbox. Xbox One X or Xbox Series X games. They need to be of a high
Yeah.
quality. We're heading into this new generation where, not only first party over at PlayStation, but third party are trying to get away with $70. So if you're gonna do $70, you better give us a shitload of a lot. I have a crazy wish that microtransactions exit gaming, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen because that's a revenue stream for smaller studios. But I hope the bigger studios kind of relax on that bullshit. But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure having you here. Thank you for everything. Thank you for showing up. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's here. The super chat people. I think True Witty, Frostbite Slash. Was that True Witty right here? Yeah, that was True Witty, Frostbite Slash, and Stardust and Ice Queen Gaming. All the members here. Umar, J Love was in the chat. Cedric, always here. Rafe the Emperor. Big shout out to you guys for supporting the stream today. It's a little bit different, but we're gonna change it up a little bit going into the future. Thank you, Emmanuel, for showing up. Guys,
For
I'm
sure,
gonna be
man. Thanks
live
for the
on
invite,
Twitch.
bro.
No problem. I'm gonna be live on Twitch after this. Gonna chill and play some games. Actually, I might just start another fucking stream on YouTube, but look for me on Twitch. We'll do the after show over there. You guys know you can find me on JaytechTV 4K 60 on Twitch. I'll drop a link.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
You
man.
can find me on Twitter, Wavy Gamer X, talking a little shit on there.
Okay, 1 second. Let me drop that link before I get up out of here. Again, big shout out to everybody. I see that we got a lot of people that liked it, so thank you. In the future, we're trying to do something more like this. It doesn't matter if you're a bigger YouTuber or a bigger person on Twitter. We're going to try to reach out, and this is not a me thing. This is a PlayStation Legion of Gamers thing. If you got some people that you want to be on the show and you want to have me talk to, I don't mind. Don't worry, it's not going to get that fucking crazy. Let's hope it doesn't get that fucking crazy. But again, it took me many years to know that everybody's entitled to their own opinion. It doesn't mean their opinion is a fact, but they are entitled to their opinion, and it's super fucking hard to change their thought process, as you can see. But yeah, I'm on Twitch. I would appreciate the support over there. We will have a nice discussion. To be honest, I am going to change this because we will be discussing some stuff over there about the Sunday show that we just had. So, if you don't mind popping over there, let's go switch that over. We will be playing some games, possibly Cyberpunk. Actually, I'm gonna let you guys decide because we have that one game with the PC settings. It's called Star Ocean. It will be a game that will be used over the next 3 weeks in discussions on what I like to see from developers giving options. So maybe we can get even more options out of next gen consoles. Okay, looks like we're all good. We're gonna switch on over there. Again, if you need the Twitch, it is JaytechTV. JaytechTV 4K 60. Same as the Instagram. Same as Twitter. Same as my PSN. I changed it all. The URL for the YouTube channel is also JaytechTV 4K 60. It's very easy. Just JaytechTV and put 4K 60 underneath. If for whatever reason you have not clicked all my links to keep up with all the stuff, including our Discord and the merchandise, which I believe I just got the Xbox Has No Games t-shirt, which I want to do an unboxing for. I'm going to do an unboxing for that shit tomorrow. But I got the package, and I didn't pay for rush delivery, but it came anyway. It came early, so yeah, I got that. Okay, so we're all good. Meet me on Twitch. Let me make sure I get everything ready to be switched over. We're gonna switch it all over here. Restream. Again, a big shout out to Emmanuel, aka Wavy Gaming, for showing up to the stream. A lot of people did not think he was gonna show up, so it's good that he did. What the fuck? There we go. Great. Now I'm good over here. Okay. I'll see you guys in like 5 minutes.